Reach out, touch space. Reach out, touch space. Reach out, touch space. Your own personal Jesus. Someone to hear your prayers, someone who cares. Your own personal Jesus. Someone to hear your prayers, someone who cares. Feeling unknown and you're all alone. Flesh and bone by the telephone. Lift up the receiver, I'll make you a believer. Take second best, put me to the test. Things on your chest you need to confess. I will deliver, you know I'm a forgiver. Reach out, touch space. Reach out, touch space. Reach out, touch space. Reach out, touch space.
Hey Naomi, Naomi Comics is freaking awesome, like what?
Your own personal Jesus. Someone to hear your prayers. Someone who reach out, touch space. Reach out, touch space.
Boom shakalaka, she's on fire.
Reach out, touch space. Reach out, touch space.
We will stand and fight. We will stand and fight.
A shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who does not exist.
Boom shakalaka, she's on fire.
Heavy metal thunder loader, a lone crusader in the night, wronging every single right. No names, no face to see, fighting for you and me. The scanner flashes red, red. Better listen to what he said. My cold nights, riding through the fire. Hit is alive, burning with desire. One man, one machine. Justice is the scream. I was thinking about her, thinking about me, thinking about us, what we gonna be. Open my eyes, it was only just a dream. So I travel back down that road. Will she come
Oh my
back?
Gucci.
No one
Oh my
knows.
Gucci.
I realize it was only just a dream. I was at the top and now it's like I'm in the basement. Number one spot and now she found a replacement. I swear now I can't take it, knowing somebody's got my baby. Now you ain't around, baby, I can't think. I should've put it down, should've got the ring, cause I can still feel it in the air. See her pretty face, run my fingers through her hair. My love, my life, my shorty, my wife. She left me, I'm tired, cause I know that it just ain't right. I was thinking about her, thinking about me, thinking about us. What it is what it is. It was only just a dream. So I travel back down that road. What it is what it is. I realized it was only just a dream. Man, I'll be right there, man, I swear I see your face at every turn. Trying to get my hustle on, but I can't let it burn. And I just hope she knows that she's the only one I ever. More and more I miss her, when will I learn? Didn't give her all my love, I guess now I got my payback. Now I'm in the club thinking all about my baby. Hey, she was so easy to love.
You're gonna take a baseball bat to a horseman, finish the job, because there's one rule of gang fighting. See, we are the original gang and we're the most vicious in all of professional wrestling history. They send one of yours to the hospital, you send one of theirs to the morgue.
It was only just a dream.
We are the future, Charles, not them. They no longer matter.
No one knows. I realize it was only just a dream.
Oh my Gucci. Oh my Gucci.
Niobe Comics kind of just schooled the shit out of me.
It was beautiful.
There is an individual who, for all intents and purposes, steals all of my content. He downloads the content and then puts it on his live streams and in his videos. He is one of these paragons of self-righteousness who says that he is in the right for what he's doing and then I'm in the wrong for what I'm doing. So you're going to hear his stupid voice in the video in different moments, and I apologize for that. He's a failed comic book creator and he's just a loser overall.
Conan, what is best in life?
Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, you hear the lamentation of your women. That is good.
After 3 boring minutes, The Rock says, know your role and shut your mouth!
Ten years ago, a crack commando unit was sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from maximum security stockade to the Los Angeles underground. Today, still wanted by the government, they survive as soldiers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the A-Team.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live!
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world on HBO pay-per-view. Ladies and gentlemen, from Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, let's get ready to rumble!
I am the best wrestler in the world. I've been the best ever since day one when I walked into this company, and I've been vilified and hated since that day because Paul Heyman saw something in me that nobody else wanted to admit. That's right, I'm a Paul Heyman guy.
Welcome to another edition of Thunderdome!
Finally, The Rock has come back!
This is home, JR! Right here!
Home. All hail the Ayatollah of rock and roller! Look at me! I have the power!
What it is what it is.
I've noticed we've been sharing our culture with you all morning.
Hey Naomi! Naomi Comics is freaking awesome, like what?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say what one more goddamn time.
Rebel Comics is amazing! Like what?
Boomer? Huh? Am I a boomer? Huh? Boom! How about that? Am I a boomer? Boom! Boom!
Is it great to be alive on a Monday night or what? This is it. I just got done doing my 4 to 8. That's what I call it. My 4 to 8. 4-hour shift tonight. Nothing too major. I love, by the way, working from home. It's fucking great. You know, I in between calls, you know, I got, well, even during calls, no one can hear it, but I got always a movie running in the background. I was putting bags and boards together, you know, making that 4 hours not only worth it for the company that I work for because I provide exceptional service, but taking care of Niobe business at the same time. We make work for us. So, what's going on? Fatal J, Polite Blazer in the chat already. And I wasn't going to come on tonight, but a couple of things caught my attention. Plus, I'm just feeling a little bit better today than I have in recent days, so I've got a little bit of extra energy. So why not use it, right? So, I am LP, by the way, if you are new, you're catching this on the flip. I am the writer, I am the creator of comic books known as Niobe and Savage Sin, which you can see here on the screen. I've been doing this now for over 12 years. Started with Kickstarter. I'll likely end with Kickstarter. And I have a spotless, and I want to stress this again before we get into tonight's discussions, because there's two things we're going to talk about. Maybe three, who knows? We'll see if anyone jumps in. But I have a spotless track record. Spotless. Knock on wood. But right now, as it stands, today, it is spotless. In the 12 years that I've been doing this, I've never ever taken someone's money and ran. I never spent it on things that it wasn't meant to be spent on. I've always delivered. In fact, I've gone out of my way to make sure that happens. And this goes to the second guy I'm going to talk about tonight. I actually know how to mail comics, and apparently you don't. So, what's going on? I'm talking vague, maybe, I don't know. The cat's out of the bag, by the way. Someone had posted this on Twitter. So I'm instead of like playing vague and not saying names, I'm just going to say the names, because everyone's going to find out. Let's get it out of the way. The creator I was talking about earlier today, yes, is Tyler. Yes, it is Draw Talk. I've seen a few people mention him on Twitter now. The cat's out of the bag. It's Tyler. Okay? So, what happened? Well, I guess since we know it's Tyler now, then I guess we could just bring up the email and I'll show you the whole story and nothing but the truth and nothing but the truth, I guess, okay? So if you're not subscribed to Tyler's his God, I don't know, what is it, a Substack fucking letter or whatever it is that he sends out like once a month. And you follow Tyler, it might be worth subscribing to that, because he does drop some juicy things here and there. So I'm just going to do some OBS magic here in the background because we don't need to see everything. But we do need to see this. And I want to preference something. That's the wrong screen. I want to also preference something. Make something. I want to make something very clear here. That I'm not here attacking Tyler. This isn't like, hey, motherfucker, I was right and you were wrong sort of speech, okay? This is an FYI of what could go wrong when you decide that you're going to jump into this crazy world of independent comic books, okay? It's just an FYI of what could go wrong. And unfortunately, it's Tyler that we're going to have to use as our example here. There's another guy too, though. Don't think I'm just picking on Tyler here tonight. Okay, I'm not. But you guys have to understand something. I've taken a lot of shit from a lot of people. Shit from people who can't hold a candle to what I do. I've taken a lot of shit from Tyler, to be honest with you. Tyler has a bottle, a wine bottle, with all my tweets around it. Okay? And his thing was, if I ever quit comics, he was going to celebrate and drink out of the bottle. So I have every reason in the world, if I want to be nasty and be vindictive. I'm going to try not to do that. And this other guy, this EV Comics, just literally shit in my face today. We might get a little bit vindictive with him. We'll see. So, let's get into it. And by the way, I sent the link out to my usual crew. But if you're in the chat, like say Fatal J, you want on or something, just let me know and I'll put the link in the chat. But let's get into this a little bit. Two-parter. So I read this today. And we'll go over the whole thing, just so there's context to everything. Okay? Hey everyone. It's been a while and I'm terribly sorry about this. It's honestly inexcusable since communication is the key of all this. But I just didn't have the heart for it. I still don't, but after seeing some of the comments from backers, I think I should let you know what's up. Yes. More importantly, you should be letting your backers know, before anyone else, what's up. This is the thing. You're not going to see any of my campaigns with people asking where their shit is. At least knock on wood. I'm writing this all super raw and I'm just going to type and send. I'll break this into two parts. Update on the projects first so I don't waste your time if you don't want to read what's been going on. 2, what's been going on and why the updates are where they are at. And 3, the next steps. The update. So let's get to it. And this first update will encompass Bullet Assassin, My Sexy Witch, and Finding Clues with Blue, which I don't even know that one. So Bullet Assassin, he says, digitals have been sent out and needs to go print and fulfill. Sexy Witch Academia, 80% complete. All line pages have been turned in. Finding Clues with Detective Blue, art is 90% complete. Artist is working on final pages. So that's the update. The books are in some sort of progress and moving forward. If that's not the problem, though, right? I'll tell you what the problem is in a minute. Sexy Witch art is on me currently finding the time to finish it. Same with the majority of Finding Clues with Blue. So why are all the projects stalled and going at a snail's pace? Well, because I did one thing I told myself I would never do, but I did in a moment of weakness. Guys, you gotta learn from this. Fucking, whether you're a seasoned vet or you're looking to do your first comic, you've got to learn from this. You don't want to be the guy making this mistake. So what's been going on? I pulled the Kickstarter funds out of my business bank account to help me with life hits in order to keep my family afloat. That's the truth. I spent years doing Kickstarter avoiding this and have done a really good job of it. But unfortunately this time around I got kicked in the teeth enough that I felt I had no choice. At this point, you can have all the anger at me and it's deserved. I'm embarrassed. I'm angry. I'm humiliated. Everything I built over 8 years just crumbled down. You see, in February, I lost my job unexpectedly after a few years of just health. I got hit with massive bills. In March, my wife and I had a child, and with that came other bills, as he needed tests on his throat for breathing problems to see if surgery was necessary. All during that, I was still trying to keep my head up. I struggled to find a new job, so I started a business with a friend. It was paying the bills until we lost our biggest client unexpectedly, and that threw us in a rut of nothing. On top of that, my old employers were getting sued, and some of that was getting thrown our way, which added to the stress. I wasn't sleeping, I was stressed out of my mind, and one thing after another came up. Car problems, the heater went down, water leak on the second floor causing water damage. My left eye had to get surgery again or I would lose sight in it. I was, and have been, working 70 plus hours a week trying to make this business happen while I try to potentially find a job Nothing was biting. In May, everything hit the fan again in our business. So to keep my family from sinking, because we were drowning, I made the decision to keep us afloat by using the Kickstarter funds. I hate myself for doing it. I spent 8 years building up a reputation of getting my books out on time for the most part. And I've been consistent in what I was doing. I never thought I'd be in a position to do so. All right, we got someone just hopped in the back here. Hold on, I gotta see who's in there. Okay. All right, so we're gonna pause this for a minute. I'm gonna kill the music. I'm gonna switch screens. That's my YouTube screen, by the way. That's the window we use for behind the OBS magic right there. I'm gonna bring on someone, and you know what? And before I bring this next person on, I wanna stress. Again, this is not an attack on Tyler from me, and I'm sure it's certainly not from the guy I'm about to bring in. I don't want it to seem like, it's like a ha 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 got you moment or anything of the sort. What this needs to be taken as is a learning experience for everyone. It just happened to be Tyler, that happened to be the guy. That's it. Also, though, we're going to be talking about EV Comics tonight because he done fucked up again. Yeah. These guys, listen, man. I don't know why I'm getting mad. It's not even that I'm mad. I'm just getting a little bothered that after fucking how many years I've been doing this show, how many times we've given tips on shipping, you dumb fuckers still can't learn how to do it. You don't listen, you don't watch, and you certainly don't take notes. I'm going to give you notes tonight, EV Comics. By all fucking means, pay attention. Now, for someone to calm me down a little bit, Mr. Samuel Quinton III.
I'm not calm.
You're not?
I'm not calm.
How come?
I'm going to do something very uncharacteristic of me.
This is going to be wild.
I'm going to probably profane a little bit.
Uh-oh. This is getting fucking wild.
I have the utmost respect for Tyler Carpenter.
Yeah, you met him in person. I didn't even get to do that.
In person, looked him in the eye, shook his hand.
Right?
I got a lot of respect for his efforts to be transparent on this.
Yep.
What I don't have a lot of respect for is some motherfuckers who have never fulfilled any of their own obligations, who are, in one case, 18 months late on fulfillment, wanting to talk shit about this. So I invite them to get their own shit together before they decide to start throwing stones at someone who's fulfilled more books in a short amount of time that is their comic career than these people have even promised to even start.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to go into names because I'm not going to start any more drama than this. But
yeah, because I didn't see what you're referring to, so that's news to me.
So I don't want to come up seeming like I'm upset with Tyler, because I'm not. I get it. I'm a father. I have family obligations. I've been knocked down out of careers repeatedly. I've been divorced twice. I've seen my own finances ruined 3 different times in my life, and I rebuild after each. And it's a hard, hard road to hoe, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a couple of people got me cussing.
Wow. And that honestly, that's a hard job to do. I mean, if I haven't gotten you cussing and I know I've been a pain in the ass many times, man, it must have been really something, Sam.
Yep. I think it's just safe to say that I need to make sure I'm not in physical presence to a couple of these people.
Okay.
Because I might write a new book of scripture.
Oh, damn.
We're to that point. I'm about to write a new sacred book, and prophet's going to speak. Okay. Now my bullshit out of the way. Tyler released his email. You read it. I read it. He was very, very clear about where things are. transparency, as we've all said, Tyler included, is always very, very important. So I salute the fact that he was able to bring that out, because that's a hard thing to admit.
Oh man.
When, especially as a man, when trials and tribulations are weighing you down, that battling, when you have family distress and you're having to shoulder that and you have to make that public, that's really hard on men in our cultures, right?
Yeah.
And particularly where Tyler's coming from. He all of us, we have slightly different cultures, right? All of us. And my understanding of Tyler's community, and I don't mean like his comic community, I mean like his sociological community. Because I've lived not far from where Tyler lives at one point, right? Is that people do put a lot of dependency on the men in their community to lift all burdens. And I mean that's pretty traditional, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do, right? But a lot of people, a lot of men in a variety of different societies would make the effort to abscond, obfuscate, lie, bullshit their way out of why something wasn't their fault. Tyler Carpenter didn't do that. Tyler stood up and said, hey, this is on me here, this is on me here, this is what's going on, this is why I did this. Very sincerely in my read of it. Now, maybe I'm biased because I happen to have a lot of respect for Tyler Carpenter. I like the man as a person. I respect him as a creator. And, much like most of the people who hang out here with you, there are times when we don't see eye to eye.
Mm-hmm.
But we talk things out. We come to an understanding. Life moves on like mature adults. I got to tell you something, man. I cannot stand it when some people try to take and throw shade at another person being honest because their own bullshit is stinking so high they've got to point someone else's attention somewhere else.
Sure, it's kicking the dog while it's down is what it really is.
So I'm going to tell y'all something. My opinion on this. And I'm known for being the inaccurate Nostradamus, but I will tell you that what I foresee happening is Tyler Carpenter doing what Tyler Carpenter does, work his freaking ass off, and eventually getting his books out. And I think that we can probably expect. Now, I haven't talked to Tyler, okay?
No, but if he's out there and if he wants on, because chances are he might be watching.
This is just an estimation of my assessment of his character, which I, again, have a very high opinion of. God, it's a good thing I'm not drinking.
I don't know if I've ever seen you drunk.
I don't drink very often. It's bad. I'm more than a little pissed off at some people and how they've conducted themselves and the bullshit they've thrown Tyler's direction.
Are you mad at me for bringing this up and doing this?
No. If I were mad at you, you know me well enough to know I'd say something. I haven't heard you say anything that wasn't true to your character and true to the understanding what's going on. You've been very, very, very factual and very precise, and you haven't said anything negative about Tyler at all. You guys have had a rocky relationship. That's no secret. I think you guys are at your best when you are arguing different points to each other. I think you, in that way, make each other better, and I think you both learn begrudgingly from each other. But some of these assholes on the internet who, quite frankly, are scamming their communities, deciding to point and fuck you. From the bottom of my cold, dark heart, fuck you.
Wow.
Not you, Larry.
No, I got it. No. You're talking to the people that were throwing the rocks while they live in a glass house.
Yeah. So I'm sorry for the people who are used to me very, very composed and such, but some of the shit people are pulling is just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this. We're going to get into this a little bit because I also want to talk to you about EV Comics since you're here. You know what I mean?
I haven't heard from him.
Well,
I invited him to come
I'll
out.
catch you all up here in a bit. We have Brian Acosta
Right.
007 in the chat. He's one of our members. We actually have 4 members now, YouTube members. So thank you for being a member. I did put out a couple little member only things the other day, and I'm gonna keep doing that because I want to grow our member base. It's important to me that we do that, and it's important that the members have a little something that's just for them. When we get like enough members, I don't know what that number will be, but when we get enough members, then we can start doing like member only live streams and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, guys, I'm sorry to come out here cussing and being in a bad mood and shit, and in the middle of dinner, but
No, you're good. You weren't expecting me to go live. I'm surprised you jumped in, to be honest, but
I thought it'd be good for my soul to get some of the bad, evil thoughts out.
yeah, like clearing your chakra. There you go, man.
It helps prevent war crimes.
War crimes. Well, I saw a war crime today. Well, no, not literally a war crime, but a war crime in comics. We'll go over that here in a bit. But yeah, so going back to
I just
go ahead. You got
I just hate when people decide that they're going to cast aspersions on a man of good character who's done nothing but bend over backwards for people in his community, who's reached out to people to lend good, solid advice, good lessons on practical applications to be successful in their publishing businesses, who has lent his platform out countless times to other people to help them find success in their own crowdfunding endeavors. And then coming out and turn around and decide that they're going to try and burn him in effigy on the internet.
Well, they're trying to make sure he never gets back up, right? So in this crazy world of indie comics, you guys wouldn't believe, but maybe some of the people in our chat would believe for sure. I'm also broadcasting on Facebook, so who knows watches there, right?
If I were a rich man, and I'm not, but if I were a rich man, like if I had an extra $20,000-$30,000 laying around that I wasn't using, I'd write Tyler a check today. But I don't, so I can't.
Can't help him, man. No, I get it.
But
let me say this, I guess. Again, it's not an attack on Tyler. And if Tyler's out there, and if you're watching Tyler, you're more than welcome to jump on and talk about this. And if there's more further explanation you want to give, but we're not the guys that you answer to for sure. It's the backers that you answer to.
And to be perfectly frank, it'd just be good to see him again.
Right. But there are things that I want everyone who is listening, watching to learn from. And the thing is that with Tyler, life happened, right? And we can't stop, bad things from happening in our life. He talks about being unemployed. I was unemployed until very recently. And Sam would know, and Pete would know, and a few of the other guys would know how much whining and moaning I did about not having money and worried about having to shut Niobe down. Okay? So I understand to a point where Tyler is coming from by like, hey, I don't have a job. Things are really fucked. I get it, man. I'm, the great thing about me is I didn't have 3 open campaigns that I had to juggle and manage and try and make happen. This goes back to my advice, especially if you're just always riding that edge of having money, not having money sort of thing. If you're wealthy, then ignore this. But if you're like making comic books and you're sort of living day by day, my advice is do not run several campaigns at once. Don't even run 2 campaigns at once. One. And you don't do your second one until the first one has been fulfilled and that last book has gone out in the mail. This is how I personally operate. So I'm not telling you something that I don't follow and implement myself. I do, right? I'm not launching another campaign until Outbreak 5, not only in my hands, but is being mailed out to all the backers. Okay? All right? Then I can look at what am I going to juggle next. Because here's the thing. I could lose my job tomorrow. I could. Right? Something could go wrong and Maybe I get fired or I get fed up with something and rage quit. Who knows? Because I've done both. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Anything can happen to me at any time, right? So I always like having a nest egg. By the way, of a like right now, I'm building a nest egg of 3 or 4 grand, just in the bank account alone, to help pay for the next sort of comic that may come up. You know what I mean? So I'm not having to crowdfund it all myself and having to find money in all these other spots. As I keep working, I'm putting away a little bit of money here and there for the next comic book project, right? So that at least I have something to start off with. Like here's like
You're muted.
no, it's the cord. Anytime that happens, just give me 5 seconds before, let me know, because chances are it's just the cord that slipped. But what the fuck was I just saying there? I was going on about one campaign at a time. What else did I say?
Talking about how waiting for books to come in and get fulfillment rolling before you get things out into the world. And I think I
was about to go on to something though, and then the fucking mic unplugged. So I was just trying to think of the point I was going to try and fucking make. But I know what I was going to say. So I like to have $1,000 or $2,000 that's dedicated just for my comic book, so I can get some pages at least started and a couple covers done before I even think about launching a Kickstarter. Because even though I don't always have the money to pay for the entire project myself, I like to pay for at least a good part of it, and then have Kickstarter fucking cover the rest. You know what I mean? So that's advice I would give to people. Is to do things like that if you can, right? With Tyler, the other problem is that he didn't have a steady job. Right? Tyler had made his own marketing firm, essentially, and was worked for hire by people who wanted Tyler to market their companies, their products, or whatever it was, And the problem that Tyler ran into is, again, you're running your own business. Things are going to go wrong, right? It's like running your own comic book business. Things sometimes are good, sometimes things are bad, sometimes things don't always go your way. And Tyler found himself with a mountain of bills. And the other big problem is he's in the United States. And because he's in the United States, he had medical issues. He talked about his kid possibly needing surgery on his throat. And he talked about having surgery on his eye so he didn't go blind. Well, guess what? Chances are maybe he wasn't insured, maybe he was. But either way, that fucking shit ain't cheap. Right? In Canada, if something was wrong with my throat or my eye, I'm covered. In the United States, you got to pay for that. And it's thousands of dollars.
You can actually scale that up a little bit. It's more likely tens of thousands of dollars.
Enough to make you homeless.
Very much so.
Which is crazy to me. I think the entire world should have free healthcare. Just my opinion. If other countries can look after their citizens, there's no reason why the states can't do it either. But it's just capitalist greed, but that's a different tangent for a different day. But yeah, so he had these bills, and you know what? I may have done the same thing. If it meant like going homeless, or I'm going blind in one eye, or my son needs fucking surgery on his throat and I have no other money but this money sitting right here, that's a tough judgment call to make, But
I don't think it's that tough of a judgment call when it comes to your kids.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah, but we're talking probably like 30, 40 grand. He's got to find a way to raise again and pay back.
Right. But yeah, I mean, it's a tall hill to climb.
It's a lot of money when you don't have any. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. So that's basically where he's at right now. He like Sam said, very forthcoming with the reasons, and we all understand it. Fatal J in the chat said, "Hey, look, I got kids too. I get it." You know what I mean?
Yep.
And he also said, the guy in question helped me in the beginning. I have no bad to say on him because life throws you new bullshit every day, but launching more than one campaign is also a no-no. You rarely see creators. Well, some people do it, but some people have a system and they have backup money and this and that, right? They have, they have everything in play. And the problem with a guy like me is, like I said, I can lose my job at any day. I sort of live week by week, you know? So I don't try to undertake more than I can handle, right? And I certainly don't want to do what Tyler's plan is, which is to run yet another Kickstarter to borrow from Peter to pay Paul, because that was in his email too. Now, I don't know what else he could do though, Sam. Right? So, you know, the question would be, you know, I guess if we were in a similar situation, right? We had 3 campaigns, Sam, whatever reason, you had to spend the money, I had to spend the money. We make this speech, you know, hey, this is why, you know, family problems, bills, medical, whatever. What's the next step? Like, what would you recommend to Tyler or to anyone else that may find themselves in such a situation?
Well, I mean, we know other people who are in similar situations, but not to that high of a cash figure, right? So I think we're going to go back and we're going to use the old metaphor of how do you eat an elephant, you know, one bite at a time. And so to my thinking on this, probably the best recourse would be to go ahead and get the books finished that he's drawing, certainly, right? Because at least digital fulfillment can go out for those. The book that's been digitally fulfilled that still has its print run pending, go ahead and, you know, do whatever you need to do to earn up the money to get that press run done and get that shipped out. But you're talking, man, probably $6,000.
Yeah.
Just in printing and shipping, at least. But the problem I see is that by the time you roll to January, that $6,000 is probably going to be another 10% higher on the shipping calculation, right? So figure 6,300 to 6,500. But get that knocked out. Keep everyone in every campaign apprised. And I don't think I would tackle another project yet. But Tyler knows better than anyone what he can manage. The problem I think is going to see is that he is the person who knows what he can manage. And we've got 3 campaigns open.
Now he's talking about possibly a 4th. Just to help pay for one of these other ones, right? Because to me, that's an endless cycle once you start doing that, man. Eventually, when things come to the end, you're still going to be left holding the ball somewhere. I'm fucking sure of it. You know what I mean?
Well, again, it depends on how well the campaign's fund, too.
Yeah, we'll say they barely fund, which seems to be the fucking case right now with a lot of people, you know?
Then that's a real problem.
That's a real problem. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Now, one thing I would take and recommend is that he's got to probably have inventory on hand for other books. I would assume so anyway. Or maybe I'm the only one crazy enough to have a couple of thousand extra copies laying around for my print runs. But do some shows, squeak by some extra cash that way.
Yeah, you know what I would do if I was Tyler?
What's that?
Honestly, I would fucking run a GoFundMe at this point.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. No, you put the same story you wrote in the email. You say, this is why, you know, I need to raise money. We're in debt, this and that.
Want to take and make good on my obligations and help cover my son's medical expenses.
Yeah. And whatever you get, but use that to help fix this problem you're in. You know what I mean? Even if it's just a couple of thousand, put that couple of thousand towards the print run or whatever it is that you got to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's more viable, easier to handle, certainly. And if he wants to offer like a reward structure on that, he can just offer up digital copy to, minimize his outlay.
We have Pete in the chat. Pete says, the best 2 people out there on camera right now to talk about this, and God bless Tyler. Yeah. I mean, Pete, you're more than welcome to jump in if you want.
Pete, that's really well said, man. God bless Tyler Carpenter. I'll agree with that.
Yeah, for as much as the back and forths I had with him, I don't want to see him, done. I don't. I may have said it
Tyler's
in the past,
always
but
been.
when it comes right down to it, my heart of hearts wants Tyler to succeed.
Yep.
I just wish he and I saw more eye to eye. But with that being said, I don't have like it's not like I want to hang him from the gallows and kick the dog while it's down, sort of thing. You know what I mean?
I've always gotten along with Tyler. Now, some people in Tyler's YouTube channel, not so much. Sending me dick pics and such on Twitter, but Tyler's always been really good to me.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler, honestly, if you're out there watching, and it may suck to run a GoFundMe because maybe you feel like you're e-bagging or something, but at this point, what harm is it going to cost? I mean, you've already sort of been embarrassed enough, admittedly so, by your own email. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Like,
I would much rather donate to a GoFundMe that Tyler was running than to a GoFundMe to help fund some e-girl's breast implants.
well, there's that, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've thought about running GoFundMes before to help, because we need a cargo van for Sinopa, right? And I've been giving some serious thought to doing something with that with GoFundMe, right? But I keep putting it off.
Welcome to the show, Pete. What's up?
Hi, I'm gonna. First off, I meant that. There's definitely you guys. I think know the situation, know the people, and have knowledge of the people. Best guys to talk about it. Anybody else really talking about it? Whatever. Also, you guys fulfill your stuff. But you can both see Sam being a dad, and Larry like myself. Paycheck to paycheck. You get the idea. You can understand the gravity of the situation. Again, I reiterate. God bless Tyler and his family. Hope they're okay and healthy. That's the only important thing, really. The money can be fixed eventually. It really can be. But really that's what I wanted, just because I'm getting ready to stream myself.
Oh, yeah, what's going on tonight?
I'm going to not review Anime NYC, but again, I'm gonna, for some people in the chat, in my chat, they want to know what's up, what happened, why don't I want to go, there's that, and then I'm going to basically reiterate the same thing for New York Comic Con, do some housekeeping with the October shows that are coming up, and the November show, and then I'm going to draw some more of this stuff, probably. And then maybe a little portfolio review, because I redid the portfolio, and things like that. So business as usual for a Monday night draw. Okay, and the GoFundMe thing, that's what I wanted to say too.
Yeah,
as someone who has had to use that platform twice, one for medical bills, because I was underneath, and this was before you guys met me. This is back in 2014. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I had a pretty decent surgery. I had a pretty bad infection. I had surprised I'm still here. But then work-wise, I was out of work for 6 months. I needed help, so I got help. The last one was, and you guys were here for this, and I appreciate you guys, was when my dad passed away. He if he had anything, he couldn't tell us because he had dementia. So, but there was nothing. I looked for it. There was nothing. So any little savings that I had left after COVID went into trying to take care of that, and we needed help to bury my dad. We got help through a GoFundMe. Now for medical bills, like right now he's got a sick. I'm really cutting it short, but with a sick child or something like that, yeah, medical. I lost my job. This, that, yeah, GoFundMe. Absolutely. For anything else, like I've seen some guy, hey, help me pay my parking tickets. Fuck you. There are people that need this platform for help. Sam, I won't be so curt. Sinopa needs a truck. You could do another print run Kickstarter. GoFundMe, I think, is for people who need help.
Yeah.
Like desperate help. Like I can't do this. If I do this, it's either a life of crime. It's either a life of crime, or I have to go off the grid forever.
Yeah. Like I said, it comes and goes and crosses my mind.
It's just my opinion on the subject. Like I remember, I won't name names because that would be stupid. But someone was trying to do that to fund something, basically make it to basically make the GoFundMe a Kickstarter, and that's not what GoFundMe is, in my opinion. I think it's one of the purest platforms out there because I've experienced the help you can get from it, and it's humbling. It's absolutely humbling, especially when you're like sick, or you don't know where you're gonna bury your father, or your parent or whatever. So I have a deep rooted respect for the GoFundMe platform.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an idea that I spun up in my head. I mean,
Yeah,
if you're in debt, you're in debt. Reasons why doesn't really.
Tyler doing it. If Tyler were to do it in his situation, I would absolutely agree with it. But if hey, I'm in gambling debt and I need to make some money. Hey, I'm like the clown. I got 19 parking tickets. You guys want to help me pay this? Okay, but meanwhile, you got sick kids or sick people, or hey, they're cutting off my leg. I don't know what to do. But that's just me. But that's all soft.
Power's getting cut off, and it's going to cut off my oxygen machine. I've seen that.
Yeah, stuff like that. Or I'm gonna have to send my kids to live with blah 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 because we can't do this, or But I spent all my money on lottery tickets. Can somebody help me get more? Eat shit, seriously.
On another subject here, I'm gonna bring this up, and it kind of relates. I mean, this isn't about Tyler. This is about EV Comics, right? So. The guy that went to Mike Wheeler's site and like missed one book and got called out, that whole scenario, you guys recall that, right? We covered this.
You got a super chat, Larry.
Huh?
You got a super chat.
I got a super chat. Let me see. Holy shit, we got a super chat. All three of you guys inspire me when it comes to the business. Pete, your art gets even better when I see it. Well, thank you so much for the super
appreciate
chat.
You, Fatal J.
I'm gonna play this little super chat video for him, then we'll comment. Here we go. Baby Yoda, just for you. He is really fucking cute, by the way.
He is pretty fucking cute.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. So yeah, Pete, your art gets better and better every time Jay sees it, bro.
I appreciate that, Jay. I really do, Fatal Jay. That means the world today. That means the world to me.
Improves every year, bro.
Just every year? I don't,
So he also says, Pete, you may not know it, but you helped me through a tough time when I lost my dad. Thank you, brother.
Hey, look, and Larry and Sam are unfortunately Sam's the newest member in our circle in that fraternity. That's a shitty fraternity.
It really is.
I'm in a regular fraternity, and it's tough too. But I use the word fraternity for it because it's. I know women lose their dads too. I get it, but this is, especially when you're close with your dad. Losing your dad is tough. It's brutal. I know some folks aren't, and it is what it is. That's none of my business. But when you're close to your dad, especially when you're the oldest son, that shit's rough. Also, the transition in your life from going from, oldest son to now you're the boss. That's heavy duty, That's heavy duty shit. And so Fatal J, if I was able to help one little bit, I'm happy for it. I always use the Robin Williams Mork quote. I'm paraphrasing it. I don't know what my relevance is in the universe or my significance is in this universe, but if I've been able to help or make a couple people in the universe happy, then I'm the richest man in the universe. So,
well said.
So EV Comics, he went on Mike Wheeler's site. He got 5 backers. 3 of them made it to their new homes. One he had to sort of fight for and find the address for, and the other one, the fifth and final package, was sent to Mike Wheeler himself. Okay. Mike Wheeler got his package, and Mike Wheeler posted it, and we're going to take a look and go over the do's and don'ts again about
how to ship
Oh.
comics.
Yeah.
If you're in Europe, don't send your fucking comic book in a paper bag with scotch tape on.
This is almost as bad. Almost.
You hear
as-
me, Rich?
You hear
Yeah, I
me?
fucking said it. Fucking care.
So here we go.
Full screen. This is full
No,
screen.
it's not. No, it's not.
I'm not going to argue about the camera.
No, no,
Now,
no,
here
no,
we
no,
go.
no, no. I mean on the YouTube video, Mike. Look, see the teeny tiny little icon that you're trying to.
Oh yeah.
Come on, this is entertainment.
Entertainment. All right, fine.
Show that.
Bubble mailer, ladies and gentlemen. Walmart bubble mailer. Okay. You can feel in here. There is no board. I already know. I haven't opened it yet. See, it's still taped. Not been broke.
Why don't you make it full screen?
It is fucking full screen. It's as full
No,
screen as
it's
gonna
not.
get.
No, it's
I'm
not.
not going to argue about the camera.
No, no,
Now,
no, no,
here
no,
we
no,
go.
no, no. I mean on the YouTube video, Mike. Look, see the teeny tiny little icon that you're trying to.
Oh yeah.
Come on, this is entertainment.
Entertainment. All right, fine.
Show that bubble mailer.
How in the fuck does it go?
There you go.
It's still not doing full screen.
But it's better.
Here, solo layout. Boom, there we go. All right, bubble mailer. Okay.
Yeah.
You can already tell it's been through the fucking ringer, right?
Yep.
You got some serial killer fucking handwriting here.
Okay, that was funny.
We're gonna flip this camera around too, because this camera is like showing everything in reverse. So how do I do that? Transform.
I don't know who gave everyone the
flip
horrible
horizontal.
idea
Here we
to
go.
ship comics and bubble mailers. Who did that? Who's
know.
responsible for that?
I don't know, but here it is.
That's not anything anybody does inside the comic industry. So who started that bullshit?
I don't know.
It was not a comic book person.
But look at that. That's like
That's what it says.
that's the sign of zero education. If you can't fucking write.
One guy says you're doxing him. No one. That's a
No,
PO
this is
box.
a business address. You can fucking kiss my ass.
It's a PO box. That's
And
not
it's
a
your
dox.
business address. It's your. It says EV Comics business address.
Yeah. So that's not a dox.
Look, there's mine too. There's fucking mine right there.
You could actually go
There
to
you
that
go.
address right now, and we're here. You could come see
We're here.
us.
You can come knock on the door.
You can go to a PO box, and you can't find that person. It's just a PO box.
So let's just start with this. He's going to open up and show this, right? But first of all, this is the biggest rookie mistake I see all the rookies make. Flat out, every fucking rookie who doesn't pay attention to the creators that sort of come before them always try to cheap out on shipping. And the way that they do that is they try and send it by media mail, and they cram it into a little bubble envelope without bags and boards and fire it off into the fucking mail. And people wonder why shit gets damaged.
Just PO box.
So he's more protected than we are in this instance.
Here we go. You got some.
Business addresses are public, by the way. That's how that works.
Yeah, unless he doesn't have an LLC and he doesn't have a properly filed business. Is that the case? Is that what you're saying, one? He doesn't have a business?
Well, he doesn't.
All right, yeah, carry on then. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Yeah, there you go.
Rev says, Rev, that's a funny comment. I am straight as an arrow, though, just for the record.
All right, there's my book. There's my one gun book that I've been waiting on, Gun. You should be mad at this, Gun. I really wanted.
All right. So again, it's in a bag, but there's certainly no board. And if you are going to try and cheapen out by using bubble mailers and you're sending comics, you got to put the comic book between two pieces of thick cardboard.
Alternatively, bag and board it always, regardless. But you can use a rigid flat photo mailer. Mike Shays had really good results with that with Miskatonic.
Ben does it with
Ben's
his
done
art.
that. Yep. And so that's an option. The price difference between that and the bubble wrap mailer, if you're buying them individually, is going to be like 40 cents, right? But if you're, or 45 cents, somewhere around there. But if you're buying them in like bulk of 100, which, I mean, if you're going to be ready to ship comics, you're going to want to make sure that you know these price points. It's probably only about 25 cents difference when you're looking at them in bulk rate, right? So for like the cost of an extra quarter, you have happier customers, books that arrive in better quality. I still think it's a better idea to spend like the extra $1.50 to do the Gemini mailer and the bubble
100.
wrap. You guys have seen how I do mine. We very rarely have damage on the backer side or people who order stuff from online. Sorry about the beeps. I've got my favorite colorist is messaging me.
Yeah, take care of your business, bro. You're good.
Tell Phil I say hi.
Hey, man. I'm right here, man. This is not good because I guarantee you this book is damaged. You can tell that it's damaged kind of already, but when you look at the shape of the mailer, like Mike said, it's been beat to hell. When your shit, and my brother worked for a shipping company, works for a different company now, but he gave me the best sage advice. He said, you got to understand something. When you mail something, whether it's through us or through someone else, we don't care about your package. It's going to get kicked around like a football. It's going to get thrown. It's going to get smashed. It's going to get wrecked. You got to pack that shit like you are going to send it through a war zone.
Here's the shame of it, too. That I don't have no idea what this is or whose it is or anything like that, but I like that cover. So if it's getting knocked around,
No, I go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say I like the art styling from what I can see. I like the proportion. There's this the background gives it a sense of dynamism to it,
But it's a shame it's going to be all fucked up because they played frisbee with it in the post office.
Correct.
I really wanted this cover. I thought it was a cool fucking cover, and now I don't have a book. Look at that bend.
There's a ding right there.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, it's even worse here. So like, there's a huge fucking one right there.
Huge ding.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. These are collectibles. People want this stuff. A lot of times they want it minty fresh. Sometimes they're even going to send it to CGC to get graded. This here, if I sent Niobe and this happened, guess what happens to me? I'm getting a message the next day saying my book got damaged in the mail. Can you please replace?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's fucking
Here's
happening.
the other thing. Here's the other thing on that. Let's say you're not a collector for a second. You're not going to see. You just liked it. Like, I'd like that cover. I'd back just for that cover, the art style, right?
Right.
But I got to, and I'm going to read the shit out of it. It's going to end up being a reader copy anyway, like so many of my other books. But I still want to get it the first day, minty fresh.
Yeah.
I don't want it to come all fucked up.
Yeah.
Like if I buy it, that like the run of Shogun Warriors that I bought in the comic book shop like 6 years ago that were all reader copies, I bought those like that on purpose. If I'm going to Kickstarter or whatever it is, crowdfunding, I'd like the book to be brand spanking new when it comes in, but not looking like you went through a fucking salad spinner.
Right.
Obviously he got it printed with Kablam. There you go.
Yeah. Kablam. My book went kablam.
So
I really
Kablam is
wanted it.
actually
I'm
a good
gonna check this
company.
out.
They really are.
So you can fucking see it.
They are really good about their print capabilities.
And their customer service is great. I've spoken to them 2 or 3 times. They're
I've
fantastic.
spoken with them several different times because while I print, almost all of my comics have been printed through Mix'em. The key difference on that is one of price and paper, right?
Right.
Kablam is a little bit higher. From the books I've quoted, of course, I've got like 47 is an entirely different size format, so that's going to cost a little extra for folks who aren't used to printing in different formats like that. But I've gotten plenty of Kablam books from other creators, and the print quality's been fine. So let's not piss on Kablam.
Oh, dude, I love Kablam.
Yeah, they do good work.
I really wanted this cover, Gun. And this is the guy you guys have been fucking sweeping for, right? Guy that can't even ship 5 books. Okay?
Time out. I didn't understand that part. Hold on.
Okay.
Time out.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So this wasn't 100 books a million books like Sam prints out.
Correct.
Sam could have knocked out this fulfillment in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is this guy couldn't afford to get 5 Gemini mailers, a roll of bubble wrap, and a quarter of a roll of packing tape, and send these out so they would be safe.
I'm not
Come
saying
on, man.
Well, let me preface with this. This is this guy's first ever comic and crowdfunding campaign. Okay, so some people just don't know.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, he's gonna know now.
He's going to know now, right? This is why my show exists, though. Right?
This is his goal.
And me and Sam have tried to contact this guy a couple of different times to get him on so that we can sort of give him the ropes. And he shits in my face today. And yet, this is what I discovered that you're doing. Right? Listen, man. Listen, EV Comics. I've been to the dance. I've had more what's the line go? You got more shower. I got more ring time than you got shower time, boy. Okay? What it means is I've been around the block so much that you should be listening to me, whether you fucking like me personally or not. I've done this now fucking over 14, 15 times. Okay? We know what the fuck we're talking about. Don't fucking piss in my face and say it's fucking raining. We have someone in the back. Nick Capone, what's going on?
I'm here. I literally just saw what you just said, and I'm just like, even if it's a first time person launching a Kickstarter, it doesn't stop the person from doing research. Like, look up what is needed to, like I said, like watch your show or watch other creators. Like, I don't want to say it's like a no-brainer, but it's like chances are a lot of these first-time creators have either backed or have bought a comic book before. So you should know that, you probably wouldn't like a book being in some janky package and then your book is like destroyed. So it's like, just do research, man.
Yeah, and I want EV Comics to understand that, yeah, you only had 5 backers, but what if you had 150 backers? And this is how you sent out your fucking comic. And then next thing you know, you're getting 55 messages from people saying their comics are all fucked up.
Yeah.
Right?
Now, there's something else too, real quick, because Nick was messaging me because he has done his usual brilliance. Nick, do you want to share what we've got coming for art prints soon?
I can. Let me just open it right now.
Well, hold on. We're still on a tire.
Yeah, I was like, we can go this a little bit later, but
all right, we'll do a little bit later. Just sit down.
I just want to watch.
Sam just took over Brooklire's show.
Yeah, he's in shilling mode. We'll shill in a second here. Let's just get through this little bit. I just want to see what else Mike discovers here, and then we'll sort of carry on.
Are you proud of that book, Gun? Are you proud of me getting this book? Does this make you happy?
It's lost all its value.
That's your cover, but that's your cover, Gun.
It's worth $0 now, by the way, because all
that's
that
your
damage.
cover, Gun. Are you proud of that? Are you proud of
Look at that scuff mark right there. I didn't see that.
Oh!
Look at that dent. Look at that dent. Look at that dent. There's like fucking dings all over this fucking thing. You know what I mean? Dings all over this thing. We have Caleb Reynolds in the chat. He says he's still my Jenny from the block. That's it. This is bad. Look, guys, you have to learn how to ship fucking comic books if you're going to do this. Right?
Who fell down?
EV Comics, you got to invest in what we call Gemini mailers. And you can get them pretty cheap in the fucking States. And if someone has Sam's got one nearby, maybe we can show you how they fucking work.
Yeah, give me a second.
Yeah. But you have to learn this, man. Like Nick said, right? There are basics to this that really isn't that hard. And chances are, yes, you probably did get comics in the mail at some point, right? Wow. All right. Carrying on.
This book, are you proud of me getting this book, Gun? Are you?
That's horribly damaged.
Look at that.
God. Well, that's what happens when you ship it in a bubble mailer and not in a bag and a board.
Not even a board. Not even a fucking board. Happy I got this? You're happy I got this?
Well, it's gonna go in the trash, unfortunately, because it's now worthless because of all the damage. So Mike's not happy. Mike paid $25.
I paid $26 for this
for nothing. You got ripped.
And that's the other thing, right? These it's not like you went to the comic book shop and you bought it for $3 or $4, you know, and it happened to have a couple of dings on it.
Yeah.
These are expensive. When you're crowdfunding comic books, they're not cheap.
I'll check on you when I get done.
And not just that, but like maybe that $26. I don't know because I haven't seen this campaign, but like, could that have amounted to shipping, or that didn't include shipping? But regardless, that's still a lot, and receiving it in that condition, like, is unacceptable.
Well, here's the thing, right, Nick? To give you a little bit more context, you don't know anything about this story. This is a guy by the name of EV Comics, brand new to comics, right? He fell into the whole world of Comicsgate, like many of them do. No one in Comicsgate gave him any fucking guidance on how to do any of this shit. You know what I mean? No one. So he's just running fucking blind. Now, not only is he running blind, he did his first campaign. Guess where, Nick?
Indiegogo?
Wrong. Guess again.
I have no clue.
Well, if it's not Indiegogo and it's not Kickstarter and it's not Fund My Comic, because it isn't any of the three of them, he went to Mike Wheeler's website to crowdfund his comic.
Gotcha.
And he got a whole total of 5 backers, with Mike here being one of them.
What is going on back there?
Oh, it's Sam moving around.
Sorry, guys.
Off, basically.
I paid $26 to get fucked in the ass.
Yeah. That's how it works in comics. Yeah.
People pay more for that, Mike. People pay more for that.
Your $26. Bye bye.
Happy I got the book, huh, Gun? What am I gonna do with it? I mean, I could wipe my ass with it.
Well, hey, no, we can review it.
Oh, and we are going to review it. Oh, yes, we will. Oh,
hey, do you
yes,
think that
we will.
barcode is big enough? Because if you just put your cell phone, like,
what the fuck?
How far away do you have to be to
This
scan that?
screams, I needed an extra page. That's what this screams. This screams, I needed an extra page because my print count was fucking wrong.
You said, Mindy, you should review this. Ooh, what is that?
Jesus Christ. Like, it's giant fucking art. Giant fucking text. Who's reading this? Isn't in Braille? It should be in Braille because it has to be for a fucking blind person.
You have to hold it.
All right, there's a few things here as well. And I want to get to the chat here. We got Card Shark joining us tonight. He says, did he read it? I don't know. I mean, apparently not, right? Because it looks like he just opened this for the very first time. We have Thomas Ladders 7481. He says, imagine going to a store and buying a copy of anything off the shelf. Someone may have picked it up and looked at it. An employee may have placed it down roughly. I might pay for it. Damn. Car Shark says, honestly, the art looks good. I don't really think it does myself. And I can tell you something else that screams rookie. These giant fucking panels that take up space. I don't need to. And
I agree.
And the lettering is fucking atrocious.
It feels more like a web comic that was formatted into a printed book. It has just like that web comic DeviantArt looking style.
Right.
I mean, hey, look, it's subjective, but I personally wouldn't be enticed to, read in a style like.
I wasn't going to chime in, but what the fuck?
No, chime in, brother.
Considering we're seeing 1.5 sideways pages from a stream and never saw the campaign and don't know dick about it, and the cover was actually pretty cool. We all said the cover was cool before. So I'm like, I will. First off, I think he was going. It looks like he's going for like a Steven Universe vibe, which is more kid friendly and stuff like that. Which is one thing. I understand that there's some discerned tastes in the room. and they like a certain art style and a certain thing, and that's whatever. I'm not a, I like whatever. I'm like I make shit. So and I like Steven Universe. So I'm willing to like look at more of it because again I like the cover, but I'm not going to shit on something I've seen a page and a half on a blurry thumbnail on a stream that's sniping a stream. I'm just not going to do that.
Well, I'm going to do it.
That's a shitty. No, that's fine. That's go. It's your show, man. You got the carte blanche.
This has got to be a learning lesson, right? So here's mistakes that I commonly see in comic books. It's not so much the art that I'm picking on; it's the lettering. This screams he didn't pay for a letterer. This screams he tried to do it on his own because these bubbles, they're generic. Okay, they're poorly placed. The lettering inside the bubbles is poorly placed. You can just tell, like, this is hatchet rookie job.
Really far away to read that, Mike.
Jesus Christ.
He forgot to include that it is for midgets, and for some reason
this is a panel. This is a panel. This could be shrunk. This could be shrunk down into a fucking 12-page book.
When someone reads it to them at nighttime for their bedtime story and they are a midget reading it, it seems really far away.
Jesus fucking
So they
Christ.
have to make everything really big, like story time. That's my explanation.
And what in the fuck are these? What is this?
What's that? What's what?
It's so you can, I guess, know who's talking because you're too lazy to fucking draw the character?
Oh, yeah, that's weird. I see what you're saying with the lettering. That's what the sounds.
Oh, we're gonna have a review on this.
I get to.
All right. So that's like part of the tale of the tape here. Okay. I went ahead and I messaged this guy and I said, look, there's a lot of things that we can talk to you about. It may seem like we're beating you over the head with stuff, but honestly, these are fucking things that you need to learn if you're going to do this, right? A little bit of boot camp, if you fucking will. And instead of saying, hey, yeah, that'd be great, I'd love to come on your show and learn from you guys, he decides that he's going to correct all my grammar and be a grammar Nazi instead. Okay. So, and then he goes and makes a fucking video talking about all the things he did wrong and how he's going to correct them all. Which is
so that has potential.
Oh man, I'll show you a little bit of it here. Let me find it, because this guy doesn't look dumb, but he certainly made a lot of dumb rookie mistakes.
Rounds,
and I'm willing to say that it's rookie mistakes, not just like you're just not smart. Period. Because I get it. When I first did my first comic book, I didn't have Geminis. I didn't know what a fucking Gemini was. Okay, I also hand-lettered Niobe's issue 2 and 3 and did a hatchet job as well. I've done everything you've done, dude. Right? Like, you gotta listen to me, man. Fuck me gently with the spoon, cousin. Why a spoon? Because it hurts more. Fuck.
Damn.
That's a line from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. 1992, Kevin Costner. So allow me to introduce you to our friend here, EV Comics, and he's going to let us know how everything's going to change. Except now you have to add how you're going to mail to that too.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is EV Comics, and I had an excellent night of Yu-Gi-Oh! Yesterday. I won 4 of my 6 duels. I got completely destroyed my second round, but the first and third rounds, wiped the floor with them. You should have seen it. It was great. I don't play a whole lot of meta decks, so I don't usually do that well. So winning 2 out of 3 rounds of a tournament, pretty good for me. Pretty good for me. Anyways, that's not important. What's important here is comic books and campaigns and such. So I want to talk about my first campaign. I want to talk about some problems I had, how I'm going to address those in the future for my next campaign, and then things that I feel like I did pretty good for my first campaign. So let's go ahead and go through these and address why, what problems I had and why the campaign was so small. Now, I've talked multiple times about how I wanted my first campaign to be small, to be something that was easy to manage. because I did not want my first campaign to leave a bad taste in people's mouths.
Well, you fucked up then already, son. You couldn't have a smaller campaign in 5 fucking backers, so congratulations, you achieved that. And then you fucked up mailing the books to 5 fucking people. Yeah, you should bow your head in shame. Again, rookie mistakes, but you got to learn the hard way.
Where people were not getting their stuff, and stuff was getting mixed up or whatever. I didn't want to do that. I wanted it to be a very simple, easy to manage, small campaign. And there's several reasons why that is. One of the reasons is it's a new site. People were kind of sketchy about it. 2, it's a new site created by the Wheelers. People were kind of sketchy about them.
And you don't think that was 2 red flags immediately that said, hey, maybe this isn't the best place to fucking run my comic, right? I'm going to tell you something, dude. There's only one fucking crowdfunding site worth fucking using. Especially when they see that comic. They're not going to put that up on Back Me, bro. So you only got one place to go to, man, right, for crowdfunding. That's Kickstarter. And that's where you should have been to begin with.
And the options as far as backing, as far as what you could choose for how you back the campaign, there was not a lot of options. And this was a critique that Mike gave me, and I took that to heart because I realized that, there's not really much options here other than, having a bundle where you can get all 3 of them, right? And that was partially on purpose because I wanted to, again, keep it very simple and not have a whole lot of moving pieces to it so it could be easy for me to manage on my first time doing this. But I definitely could have done something like T-shirts. I've got...
No, God, no. How in the fuck are you going to do T-shirts when you're doing a small campaign with 5 fucking backers, dude? You know how expensive T-shirts are? I do.
Bro, he's going to wrap the comic book in the T-shirt and mail it.
Oh, my God. This is another lesson these rookies gotta fucking learn. Stop thinking on such grand fucking terms, right? You need.
I still
go ahead, Nick.
Yeah. My golden rule, and I've published 5 books so far. My golden rule: if it doesn't fit in a bag and board, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I'm not sending it.
Yeah, it's gonna fuck up with your shipping, and it's also gonna be expensive. Shit stuff like that adds up. Lanyards, which are surprisingly very expensive, buttons, pens, poker chips, all these fucking tchotchke things that you think are incentives, it's gonna add up. So especially if it's your first time launching something and you're not building your following in any way, it's gonna be very tough to make that money back, or it's just gonna be tough for the wallet in general.
Well, he's not gonna make his money back. You try and offer T-shirts on a campaign that does fucking 5 backers. I mean, you're wasting your time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The thing is I offered T-shirts way back in the day. We had this contract with PopArtGear.com. They signed me to a 3-year contract. I could only make my T-shirts through them. Okay. And we did T-shirts on a campaign, and people did buy them. I still got a couple here that I wear. The problem is that it ended up costing like $40 per shirt. We didn't make anything off them, and they were a pain in the ass to ship. And people were what you got like triple extra large. You know what I mean? So it's just not worth it, dude, right? Here's my advice to you. Before you go off about wanting to make T-shirts and toys and video games, you need to fucking make sure that you're making your comic properly and mailing it out properly first. And build up a fucking buyer base that may want your T-shirts and stuff later on down the road. I've been doing this for 12 years. And there is no thought in my head at all about making an action figure or making a fucking T-shirt anytime soon. I don't even like doing the tchotchkes that Nick speaks of. I don't do stretch goals anymore. They're a waste of fucking money and no one wants them. As far as I'm concerned, I don't want them. I got a box full of Lady Death stickers and cards and poker chips and a bunch of crap that I don't know what to fucking do with right now. It's insane.
2 little Miss Steel T-shirts that I made for myself, just to wear at events and kind of advertise wherever I walk. Right, it's got the logo on the back, it's got the graphics on the front. So I basically just turned myself into a walking advertisement. I ordered 2 just in case something happened to the first one. But I could definitely do that for the future. But for this campaign, again, I wanted it to be simple. So that could be another reason why this didn't work. The other reason is obviously, like, you know, some people might not jive with the art style. That's fine. If you don't like the cartoony art style, that's up to you. You had the perfect right to have whatever kind of taste you have. You know, art is subjective. Very, very often it's subjective. And it's up to people whether they like something or not, you know. I'm not a big fan of the Snyderverse. I like some of the movies of the Snyderverse. I like some of the stuff that's happened in the DCU. I won't say everything is perfect. Everything is great so far in the new DCU, but I like the new Superman movie more than I like Man of Steel. Now, someone else can have, you know, Zever, Ryan Dubé loves Man of Steel and hates the new Superman movie. And we have creative differences on that, but we can still get along because at the end of the day, that's art. Anyways, another reason, probably the biggest reason why this campaign was so small is because this comic is free. You can actually read it right now on Global Comics for free. And you could read it for free while the campaign was going out. So, one of the main reasons I
don't know why you would do that. If I'm able to read your work for free, but you want me to go buy it, like I get it. You like if you were giving out a free sample, or here's the first 5-6 pages, check it out. If it's something you like, maybe come for the rest, right? But I mean, if I was a backer and I'm contemplating spending $26 on your book, and it's on Global Comics, and I'm aware of it, and I go look at it and go, oh shit, no, this ain't what I want. Guess what? You just costed yourself a customer there. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
did this campaign in the first place was because people in the chat, when I was on FFS for the first time way back, I think it was last year at this point.
I'm gonna speed them up a
full
little
year,
bit,
I think. But way back then, I was on their stream and some people were saying, hey, I would like to have a copy of this guy's comic. So I decided to look into the options, and I'm sure some of those people didn't back it because of the reasons I just mentioned, because it was on a new site from people that maybe they don't like, and maybe there wasn't enough options on the campaign, and maybe just because the comic was free, they're like, maybe I don't want to pay for this. So totally fine, right? Totally fine. And to address the art again, this art is largely from 2023. I went back and updated a few things to make it look a little bit nicer in some areas where it was really bad. The bus, for example, I've talked about the bus before. But I addressed a few things with the art, but the art is still mostly from 2023. That art is now 3 years old. So I have improved a lot since then. The art looks much better now, and I'm always trying to get better. And that's the whole thing about being an artist and a writer, is that you're always trying to get better. So I can totally understand if people look at that art and say, maybe not worth the money. Maybe they see the art now, they say, hey, this guy's improved. Maybe next campaign, I'll buy it, especially if it's on a different website. So ways to avoid these problems in the future. And I've just got all this listed out for me to read from because I was brainstorming this on a car ride home and thought about making this video. So ways to avoid it. More options. T-shirts, stickers, possibly keychains, if I can get that worked out with the guy.
Focus on the book, dude. Focus on the book.
And
the thing I would recommend to him on this, legitimately, is that if you're going to do extra things, these should be things that you are also going to be merchandising, selling at your convention appearances.
Mm-hmm.
They need to fit in the form factor that your shipping model is for the campaign in question. Just like Nick said, if it doesn't fit in the bag and board, he doesn't want to do it. I think that's a really wise way to go with your fulfillment.
Yeah, if it doesn't fit, you must have quit.
Yeah, right. He made some interesting choices.
I'm sure he's going to make a few more. We'll play a little bit more here, and then we'll discuss.
I'm still going to do 3 covers option. I think that's probably the best way to go. I think 3 is a pretty solid number. It just gives people a pretty good range of stuff to choose from. I would like to get someone else to do a cover, but if I have to do all 3, I can do all 3. I'm totally fine with doing that. The other thing about it is have the ability to get these items like separately. I think I can put up just a T-shirt or just a sticker or just a keychain and stuff like that, and have those be options if you don't want the comic, if you just want the merchandise. Because I think Lock In, which is going to be the next campaign, just the logo Lock In will probably be a fun little T-shirt for people to have, even if they don't want the comic, even if they don't care about it. People people who are fans of cryptids are going to, I think, like this shirt. I think they're going to like the idea of it, and they might just want that. So I could go with that, right? So that's more options. That's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to have more bundles with different merchandise and stuff like that. And it's going to be more work on my end, but that's totally fine because as long as I give people more options, I'm giving people what they want, that's more people that are going to be willing to back the campaign, right? Second thing is I will be using Kickstarter and Fund My Comic. Possibly, if I, by some miracle, get into Back Me Bro, I can use that. So
finally, something sunk through. Good. You should be using Kickstarter. Kickstarter is where you're going to get your most buyer base. Kickstarter has built-in traffic already. Kickstarter has lots of people who are willing to take chances on indie comics. It's, and you would have gotten more than 5 backers. I'm sure of it. As far as Fund My Comic, that's a choice. Loop doesn't offer combined shipping, so you have to offer shipping codes to the fucking lower fucking shit. Pete's got a bounce. Have a good one, Pete. He just.
Thank you, everybody. I just wanted to do that in the chat real quick before I said good night. Come give me a lurk. I'm on Twitch. I'm on YouTube. Come through. I dropped the link. Again, going to talk about Anime NYC. Going to talk about New York Comic Con and why I don't fit in there anymore. And then we're going to talk about drawing some goth girl pinups because why the fuck not? And also the special guest appearance. 2 guest appearances tonight. Special guests. Of course, always my sidekick, my orange sidekick is somewhere around here. I'm sure he'll put his ass on screen sooner or later. And the 300 milligram edible is on board and will show up eventually.
I would expect nothing
That's
less.
going to be an awesome show.
Always does. I'll talk to you kids later.
Okay.
Later, Pete.
Give me a lurk, kids. Talk to you later. Get in chat. Let's have. Oh, I'm also taking requests, so come on through. Fuck it.
Well, when I'm done here, I'll open yours up. You know what I mean? All right. But yeah, we'll just play a little bit more of this. See what else he says, and then we'll discuss, I guess.
Definitely Kickstarter, definitely Fund My Comic, but that's a third option potentially for the future. I can't even guarantee that. It's very unlikely, but if possible, I'll do that as well. They're more trusted sites, well, at least for Kickstarter and Fund My Comic. They've been around for a little bit longer. People like them. For the most part, Kickstarter seems to be the most positively held in the Comicsgate community as far as like the more mainstream crowdfunding stuff. Indiegogo's lost a lot of favor with some of their updates, so...
No, Comicsgate hates Kickstarter, dude. Comicsgate has hated Kickstarter since Comicsgate formed because John Malin and Diversity in Comics and a few others, Mike Miller as well, have all been sort of banned and removed from Kickstarter. Kickstarter, honestly, is not a fan of highly political right-wing content, just so you know, okay? Not saying that's what your book is, but Comicsgate happens to swing in that direction. Comicsgate has a Kickstarter boycott. They've had it forever. Comicsgate was purely Indiegogo until Indiegogo changed the way that they done business. Now they're trying to make their own website for crowdfunding called Back Me Bro. That's where it's all gone to.
Kickstarter seems to be the way to go, and I haven't had any issues with it whenever backing other campaigns, so I think it'll be fine. They're more trustworthy, so don't have people that are going to be sketchy about new sites, except for maybe Back Me Bro if I'm able to use it. The third thing, no wheelers. The fourth thing, less bugs, in theory. I can't guarantee it. Bugs can just happen. I can just be very unlucky and just get another bug campaign. I can't promise that. I can't do it. But because these sites have been around a little bit longer, maybe that's less likely to happen. It's just, that at the end of the day, that's something I can't really control. One thing I can control is to be more persistent in emails. Now, I sent out multiple messages and emails to try and get the shipping address of all of my backers, and while most people answered them, 2 of them didn't. And while I don't necessarily think I was wrong to not continuously email, like relentlessly forever, I think I could, if I want to avoid something like this happening again, where people get sent to spam and people don't receive messages because of bugs and stuff like that, if I want to avoid that in the future, it would be in my best interest to just consistently send out an email like every 2 weeks, right? Every 2 weeks, try.
No. It's not your job to badger and harass people. Someone's backing your project, yeah, you're going to message them a couple of times. Hey, I didn't get your address. Hey, I didn't get your address. But, don't waste your time doing it every fucking 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, fucking don't. It's on them. After you made a couple of attempts to connect, it's on them to sort of respond back. I still got 4 people on my current campaign that haven't responded to their surveys yet, right? And when I first did the surveys, I let some time go by and let them all sort of collect and gather up. And then I did message those people and said, like, hey, I never got your response yet. And then I didn't message them again. I'm going to message them one more time when I'm ready to mail. And hopefully they answer back. You know what I mean? I'm not spending every 2 weeks fucking hounding a bunch of people to fucking fill their surveys and give me their addresses. That's on them.
To send an email, and if they haven't responded after like 2 months of that, then probably bring it back down to like once a month, sending an email saying, hey, I still don't have your shipping address. But I honestly, I don't think that'll happen again. I think that's just a product of the site. No,
That's going to happen. It's going to happen a lot. You go to Kickstarter and you get like 100 backers, I guarantee you 15 of them are going to forget to fill out their survey. It's going to happen.
My biggest thing with that is I look at it in the way of, you know how to log into a computer, you know how to plug in your credit card information, but you just suddenly like are, you know, digitally illiterate when it comes to checking your emails and, you know, seeing that you have to fill out a backer survey. It's definitely a common thing I see with people who are repeated backers on other projects. Like, they know the drill, they just choose not to, and I think that's just a little silly at this point.
100, man. Blight Blazer says, do your damn surveys. This is it, man.
I know, right?
Thomas says, indie comics are like local bands. You're going to lose a lot of money, but your day job is covering your daydream. Pretty much. I mean, this is it. Sometimes people get lucky. I mean, I'm lucky enough that Niobe can basically keep itself afloat, right? You know, it's not like I'm paying too much out of my own pocket for it. Sometimes I do, but a lot of times it's paying for itself. Back in 2022, 2023, it actually made me money, you know? But it's hit or miss, dude. Every campaign is a roll of the dice, man. You're rolling the bones and you're waiting to see what numbers pop up.
No shade to the site. It's new. I understand that it's going to be buggy with some things. I understood that going into it. People have said that I'm trashing the site. I'm really not trying to trash the site. I have given them the benefit of the doubt from the very start of this, and I really have no issues with the site itself. I understood that there was going to be little bugs like that. I understood that was going to happen. So I throw no shade for that in the situation. But yeah, hopefully that will not happen with Kickstarter or From My Comic. And then number 5, Lock-In will not be free. Unlike Little Miss Steel, which is going to be a free series forever. Little Miss Steel, the main series, maybe spin-offs will be paid, but the main series will always be free. And because of that, that's why a lot of people didn't buy the comic, is because it's free. This is not going to be. This is going to be either you back the campaign and pay for it physically, or after the campaign is done.
A lot of people didn't buy your comic because a lot of people don't know about Mike's fucking website, right? You need to be presented in a place that can give you a lot more exposure.
It will go up on Ko-Fi if you want to get digital copies. I will offer that as well, PDFs for the digital copies, and then a digital release on Global Comics as well. All of the re-release stuff, like through Global Comics or through my Ko-Fi page, shop page, will be done after the campaign is fulfilled, and with the exception of maybe if there's one guy who hasn't received it for whatever reason. Maybe I'm having a similar situation. I hope not. In the event that is happening and 99% of people have their campaigns fulfilled, then I'll go ahead and go through with the Ko-Fi and Global Comics release. But everyone who will back the campaign will be getting the story first, as long as I can help it. I will do everything I can to get the comics in your hands before I go live anywhere else with Lock-In number 1. And I guess that's basically how I want to address everything. I've already talked about improving my art. I've talked about improving the options, choosing different sites, and hopefully not having the bugs, but being more persistent in my emails for the future, just to make double sure I avoid this. And the fact that the comic will be more in demand because it will not be free. Now, problems I feel like I didn't have with the first campaign. Transparency. I gave multiple weekly or bi-weekly updates on YouTube, whether that was, or Twitter, whether that was from just basic posts, YouTube videos, streams on my channel, or streams on Indie Comics Empire. I was constantly talking about the process, whether that was ordering the comics, ordering the packaging, getting everything packaged, shipping them out, and all of that. Basically, throughout the entire process, I was talking about stuff, and I was even...
And you didn't learn. You didn't buy bags and boards. You didn't fucking put these books between cardboard. You didn't get any Gemini mailers. You completely failed, honestly, on the shipping aspect of this. Transparency, yeah, I'll give that to you.
Besides just doing messages and emails to remind people to send me their shipping addresses, I was saying it in my videos and streams. And I even said it on FFS's stream whenever I came on to talk about my thoughts on Comicsgate whenever I was having that crash out moment, right? But basically, that's that. I feel like transparency was pretty good. However, the differences with Lock-In is that this will be my first case where the comic I'm crowdfunding is actually not complete. So I'm going to have to give updates on art. But that's pretty easy because I'm pretty frequently putting out updates on art, whether that be for Lock In or Little Miss Steel. Every now and then I go through like an art block phase, but for the most part I have stuff like pretty regularly that I will share, whether it's to Ko-Fi, Twitter, YouTube, or someone else's YouTube channel like Indie Comics Empire. And speaking of that channel, I mean, I'm going to be streaming there most Sundays anyway, and showing you my art progress, whatever pages I'm working on, whatever panels I'm working on, unless we do like a special fan art stream that we used to do a lot more often. You're going to see me drawing and posting drawings all over the place. So I can promise definitely at least bi-weekly updates, but you'll probably see more often. You'll probably just see whenever I get stuff done. I like to post it just to be a little advertisement, a little thing to keep people interested in it, and to show off progress, and also get some criticism if you guys got any ideas for how I can improve something. So I'm always asking for inspiration as well. Like I got this car chase scene in Little Miss Steel 8, so I had someone recommend the Fast and Furious movies, the James Bond movies, which I do need to go back and rewatch. It's been a while since I watched them anyway, so I think I'm going to do that. Starting with Casino Royale. I love that movie. Anyways, the only thing is about like the Indie Comics Empire. We did go on like a hiatus for like 2 months because me and One Gun were crashing out at the same time, and about the time that he came back is kind of whenever I came back, I guess, with the streams, that is. So I don't know. I guess we were synchronized crash outs, I suppose, is what we were having. But we're done with that now. Hopefully the stream will continue without any kind of hiatuses or anything. Hopefully we'll keep doing it, but I don't know. We'll see. I can't guarantee that, but I can guarantee you'll keep getting art updates from me. But other things that I feel like I did pretty well. Laugh all you want, but fulfillment. I feel like I did fulfillment pretty well.
No, you did.
Again, there was only 5 comics, but or 5 orders. Excuse me. There's multiple comics. There's orders that had multiple. The 3 bundle deal, right? So I had 5 orders to fulfill, and I fulfilled all of them. Now, can I help the fact that 2 of them didn't send me the shipping addresses? No, not really. I did everything I could. I sent messages. I sent emails. I mentioned it in streams, and I still didn't get a response from people. I can't help that. I can take a horse to water, but I can't make them drink. At some point, it stops being my fault, and I've done all I can. But I've already talked about how I can try to avoid that in the future. Just be more persistent in emails. Just be like a used car salesman, or like someone trying to talk about your vehicle's extended warranty on the phone all the time. Hey, Angela, I know you're busy, but can we talk about today's political climate? That kind of thing. So I can maybe try and do that for the future. But fulfillment, I feel like I've done everything pretty well. I got all the packaging and all that stuff. I handled all that myself. I had things fairly organized. Again, I was transparent about things, and for my first campaign, I feel like it went pretty all right. There was that little dramatic issue that didn't need to be a dramatic issue, but it ended up being that. And if that was the biggest problem I had with the campaign, it's really not that bad in comparison to a lot of stuff. Now, I've already talked about how I have plans to avoid that happening in the future, but I can't promise that everything's going to go perfectly smooth. There's always going to be something that just happens, right? Some stuff just happens, and there's only so much you can do to prepare. But I am prepared to try and do better for the next campaign. And now the third thing, promotion. I feel like I had pretty decent promotion going into it and during the campaign. Special thanks to Katie Did, FFS, One Gun, Vaughn, Andrew Rowland, and so many others. I'll even say it, the Wheelers. Even the Wheelers were having me on stream and letting me promote and stuff like that. And I appreciate all you guys. Even if I wasn't on stream, if you were sharing my stuff, if you were on my streams, if you were in the chat talking about how you like the art and stuff like that, and how you want the campaign. I know some people were talking in chat like they want to back it, but they can't because they don't want to use the website. So I totally get it. But thank you guys so much for that. Appreciate it. Really enjoyed the process of it. I think it was a very good learning experience, as I said multiple times before. And I hope that after watching this video, you've seen how I've laid out my plans to do even better in the future. I want to, for my next campaign, I want it to be larger. I want it to be something that's actually super successful. And I want it to, be a first of many. I want it to be a first of many for Lock In, for the Lock In series, to keep it going like that. And see where it goes from there. Maybe I can. The dream, the wild dream, is to pitch this as a successful campaign, to pitch it to animation studios, to get it turned into a cartoon, because that would be awesome, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be awesome?
You're a long way from that. A long fucking way from that. Everything that you're doing has to improve before you even consider submitting this to anybody. I thought he was going to say, yeah, I'm going to submit to Image Comics or something. No, he went a fucking step higher. He's thinking fucking animated fucking cartoons on Netflix or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, wow. No, dude, you gotta scale down the reality. You did a fucking comic book with 5 fucking backers, and you messed up the shipping. You got a lot to learn before you even think about fucking what's over the horizon. Sam, you look like you want to say something. Yeah.
The nice part about this is that there's just some very simple fixes that he can implement very readily for his next campaign to really make a big difference in how his campaign presents itself, how his delivery presents itself, all of that. Certainly, he spoke a few times about how the art was old and he's leveled up since then. Definitely utilize that, upgrade your art, put all your focus on that. If he's doing the drawing, I would even recommend finishing the book prior to the Kickstarter campaign. And the reason I say that is so that he can turn this around and get really rapid fulfillment to really make an impression on the backers. So not only do they like, oh yeah, I backed this campaign, but oh wow, I backed this campaign and I got my book 2 weeks later, right? So, which is entirely doable. We just did that with Reign of Ages, you know. Hats off to Nick Capone for doing a fantastic job on the interior page art.
Thank you.
You did. That was really, really good. And a few other things. I mean, definitely, marketing could expand certainly, but I think everyone needs to expand their marketing. Tyler would tell us the same thing if he were here. I do think that Kickstarter is the better platform for new creators. I'm a big fan of Fund My Comic, but you really do have to have people presently who know your work or who know of you in order to find you, pretty much, and even then, you can get 2-3 backers sometimes. It's a really solid platform for secondary campaigns or for setting up a store. The store that I had up there, it did okay. We pulled like $400 on that or whatever it was, but certainly useful. I do wonder what his trepidation is about communicating with other creators. I've reached out to him a couple times, hasn't even done me the courtesy of responding, which I'm not going to be petty about that or anything, but I would think that maybe
we're not Comicsgate. He's a Comicsgate guy. He's drinking their Kool-Aid.
Well,
even after, like, he's also been a very sort of a critic of Comicsgate, because I went back and looked at some of his older videos, right? And he's almost done here. We hear what he's got to say. But if you go back and we just click on EV Comics here and we just have a look at what he's sort of been doing, he's got a trail here, right? So Comicsgate drama over comics, a couple of updates. He's got is the culture war still relevant? Ripperverse fails its purpose. Was it worth it? So he's been a critic of the Ripperverse and he's been a critic of Comicsgate. And then he went on Katie Did's stream the other day, and now he's complete. She's the morning Comicsgate promoter. Okay, blonde hair girl, Dolly Parton like accent, who promotes Comicsgate campaigns basically in the morning, during the day. You know what I mean? Like,
gotcha. It doesn't sound familiar to me.
Right? In fact, half this guy's problem is that he's aligned himself with the wrong people. No one is showing you the ropes. No one is taking you under their wing. No one has told you the do's and don'ts of how to operate a crowdfunder, how to ship a comic, how to do lettering, production, any of it. You're fucking on your own. And Comicsgate isn't a community that you really want to dive deep into, because you're not wrong when I look at some of your videos, and I watched a couple of these earlier today, where it's nothing but drama. Why would you want to be a part of that? Here's my stance, and no one needs to back me up or anything, right? Everyone can feel their own way about whatever. But my feeling is that you don't need to join a gang or a cult or brand your arm to make a fucking comic book. You can just make a comic book without having any sort of political allegiance. And keep in mind that Comicsgate is a political group. They're a political group of fucking former pros who got ousted and canceled by the mainstream for a variety of reasons, who had no choice but to band together and form their group, often bashing on the likes of a Heather Antos, a Mark Wade, a Dan Slott, a Mark Brooks, a Megs Visaggio, and the list goes on and on and on of their mainstream attacks because they think they're better. They drink that Trump Kool-Aid, and they drink it hard. But yeah. So, I mean, here's a little bit of what he had to say on Comics, admitting when he's wrong. You haven't done that.
Good Morning Comicsgate is a show that I was on this morning, and I talked about the situation that happened with any crowdfund, but I'm not going to talk about that here. I've already said everything I needed to. I'm instead going to talk about something else that was discussed while I was on the show, which is my post I made several months ago talking about not wanting to be associated with Comicsgate anymore. And
best decision you could have made.
I said a little bit on the show, but I didn't have a whole lot of time to, answer that question that people were asking in the chat of Katie's chat, and it's because I was on my lunch break at work and I didn't really have much time. But here I want to make a video just to fully address it and how my thoughts have changed and why my thoughts have changed. And I made a post several months ago at this point, probably maybe 3 months ago, maybe 4, about basically not wanting to be associated with Comicsgate as far as the name, right? I want to be associated with the creators because there's a lot of great creators, and I never said anything bad about the creators or the good people in the movement. But what I said was that the movement had a lot of baggage, right? And that still, I think still is accurate, that this movement does carry a lot of negativity with it. But it also
then why would you want that? Why would you want that? If you know, like, the name alone is an issue. Comicsgate? We're not gatekeepers. We're ambassadors. Okay? We don't fucking close the door on people. We help open it up and let them pass through.
Carries a lot of positivity, and I want to talk about both. The main negative aspects of it that I had mentioned was the Liam controversy that started up a few months ago, where he had struck Katie's channel, and YouTube wasn't really doing anything about it. The broader internet was getting introduced to Liam because of this, and were basically exposing the worst part of Comicsgate, well, at least one of the worst parts of Comicsgate, to the internet. And
the worst part of Comicsgate's Ethan Van Sciver. He's the most vile fucking POS in the fucking movement.
Everyone, from what I was thinking, was only getting introduced to the negativity, and it was just one more aspect of the community that was making it hard for me to want to be associated with it. Because ultimately, if you associate yourself with Comicsgate, there's going to be a lot of people who will say you're just like all the others. You're part of, like, you're this far right group of racists and homophobes and incels because they don't know what the word incel means, and all this stuff gets roped in. And those people are wrong. Those people are
no, they're not wrong, and I'll tell you why. If I fucking join a gang, right? I joined the Crips, and my buddy, Tupac in the Crips, goes ahead and shoots someone, but I didn't shoot someone. I'm still in the gang. I'm still affiliated with it. I'm still associated with it. You know what I mean? I'm still okay with it because he's my boy, right?
I think often intentionally wrong, and will not change their opinions because they have already made up their minds about you, right? But there is a group of people that were introduced to Comicsgate, not just because of Liam, but they were introduced because people were talking about him. They had to talk about Katie, who's the victim in this whole thing, having her channel struck and removed. They had to talk about her, and to talk about her, they had to talk about what content she makes, which is, of course, content about Comicsgate, different creators, different...
She doesn't make any content. What I'm doing is called EFAPPing, right? So we take your content, we give our spin on it, and it's transformative. What Katie did was just take Liam's content and didn't talk over it, just let it run. She was a clipping channel. Clipping channels are against the terms of service of fucking YouTube. You're taking someone else's content and you're not adding anything new or transformative to it. You're just ripping it off.
Comics promotions and all that kind of stuff for all these different comics in the space, and because of that, they're not just getting introduced to Liam, they're getting introduced to the broader concept of it. And I'm sure that there might not be a way to measure it exactly, but I'm sure that there's been quite a bit of people who were introduced to Comicsgate from that and have since followed the movement. Maybe they're not creators in the movement, or maybe they're not frequent backers in the movement, but they are at least following it, right? There's a lot of people who I feel have been introduced to this and seen the worst and stuck around to continue to watch Liam get worse and worse, but because of that are introduced to the broader scope of Comicsgate. So that's an error of my judgment. That's an error of me thinking all gloom and doom and not realizing that there's still quite a bit of positives about what happened with this. The other reason why I didn't want to be associated, why I said that, was also because there are a lot of creators, big creators, who are very late on their campaigns and have not delivered them in years in some cases. And while that's, everyone talks about that, it's a tired talking point, but it is true. And if you if you belong to the group Comicsgate, you are going to also have to carry around that baggage that people have had disgruntled customers who have not received their comics and want refunds and stuff like that, and some people never get them. And that's something that you have to carry. That's an objective truth. That's something that's going to be following you as a creator if you belong to this movement. Now, not everyone views Comicsgate as this all-encompassing thing that everyone is like this. Those people are wrong. Those people are judging the book by its cover, and they.
After 8 years, yeah, I'm judging the book by its cover at this point, dude. I don't know if you ever watched the movie Tombstone. It's a fucking Western movie, right? Val Kilmer, fucking, there's a scene where Wyatt Earp says, if I fucking see a cowboy with a red sash, I'm killing the cowboy wearing it. And he's chasing down all the cowboys, right? And the cowboys, which is a gang, I'm going to equivalent them to Comicsgate, started dropping their red sashes on the ground, so Wyatt Earp and his fucking boys weren't going to kill them. Fucking Comicsgate needs to start dropping the red sashes.
They don't do research into it, and they're probably not going to ever do research into it or change their minds at all. But you can be like me and change your mind simply by looking at the situation from another perspective. And that's what I've done this past few months. I've started sort of slowly warming up to the idea of denouncing that post, but I part of me wanted to not do it because I don't like to go back on promises. I don't like to go back on statements unless I'm proven absolutely wrong. And if there's fault to be admitted, I will admit fault, as I've admitted fault many times in this most recent drama, to where I have failed and could have done better. But I'll also stand on where I'm right. And some aspects of it, like I've said already, I still believe is the case. I still believe there is some baggage that you go in for saying you belong to Comicsgate, but there's also a lot of positives that come with it, such as the quality of the comics, the sense of community.
No, the comics are pretty bad quality. I've seen them, and those are the ones that actually make it out when you do see them. Community? You think a good community is a bunch of people in different fucking factions warring with each other all the time? That's what you consider a good community. You got the guys in FFS fighting Lord Raptor Jesus. You got Matt Barr fighting with One Gun. You got Liam fighting with everybody. You got Ethan Van Sciver, EFAP, and fucking every single person he doesn't like. Fucking starting a war with Eric July that's lasted 3 years now. That's not community. That's toxic.
That, yes, sure, there's drama. There's always some people arguing. As long as there's two people in the community, the two people are going to be beefing with each other. But there is also the positiveness. There is the fact that people can make whatever comic they want to make and be independent and not have to listen to a board of directors or...
Guess what? I'm not in Comicsgate, and I make my comic book independent. And Sam, guess what I don't answer to? A board of directors. It is possible. You can make... See, this is the weird thing, man, that blows my fucking mind, is that guys like this, he seems smart and nice enough, don't understand that there are other independent comic book communities out there. You don't need to be Comicsgate and think that's the only way you're going to get into indie comics. That's the worst way to get into indie comics.
Stock owners or just the higher ups at like Marvel, DC, Image, or Dark Horse, whatever, you have the freedom to make the comic you want. And for some people, that for me, that's like, I'm making something that's all ages, that's not politically charged. For some people, that is something that's politically charged, like Knights of the Bad Moon. And there's and the opposite, or maybe not the opposite, but maybe somewhere just, it's a totally different thing in Panzer Girl, right? It's free speech ultimately at the end of the day is what it broadly is. So you have the ability to make whatever comic you want here. And people are going to see that. They're going to see some creative stuff. And they're going to say, wow, this is a talented group of people that I can directly support as opposed to funding, Marvel, which is funding Disney.
No, God damn it, dude. Why are you so narrow-minded in thinking that there's only Comicsgate and then the big two? Wow.
Which is funding a bunch of evil people who eat babies over on Epstein Island. But anyways, that might have just got this video nuked. But the point of what I'm saying is that with the negative, there also comes positive. And I have never seen the positive more than when Katie had her channel struck. Everyone came out in support of her. And the few that didn't were very few and far between. There was very little people that were not on Katie's side in this situation. The sense of unity in the community, I think, had never been higher than I've seen personally. Maybe there was something before this. But for me personally, that was the highest I had ever seen everyone come together. And a similar thing was felt personally by me during this whole drama with Indie Crowdfund that I went through last weekend. I've come out of this experience feeling like I'm actually better off because of it, not just because of learning from mistakes and learning not to for me personally, Indie Crowdfund is not for me, but also exposing, the behavior, right? The behavior of the Wheelers, and it kind of exposed where their allegiances really lie. They are
much of Comicsgate isn't that much different, dude. They're going to stab you in the back the first chance it's fucking beneficial to them. First fucking chance it's beneficial to them.
Anti-Comicsgate. They don't like us, and because of that, I feel like at the end of the day, if I had to be dragged through the mud a little bit to make the community better, I think that it was slightly better than it was before, then I'm happy to have gone through that. Now, at the end of the day, I don't think I'm that important, but apparently the community really rallied around me, and I appreciate that so much. And that has been the final push that has made me say, you know what, I was wrong. I was wrong to make that statement on Twitter about not wanting to be associated. I feel like now, looking back on it, hindsight's 20/20, but looking back on it, I feel like that was a very cowardly thing to do. And I think people like Young Grippa, who have been saying fair weather, I think that's true. I think that's something that I failed in. I think that's something that I should, in a time where I should have been more supportive and defensive of Comicsgate, I feel like I flaked, and that's something that I don't intend on doing again. I've come, you're always in a learning process in life, not just in this situation, but I'm always learning. I'm always trying to learn and grow and increase in wisdom. And this whole situation has been very wisdom enlightening for me. I feel like I've become a better.
Go ahead.
He sounds scared. He sounds like, oh, I have to watch what I say because the Comicsgate police is probably going to come after
Well, they
him.
already done that to him. Yeah. So he went on a stream last week after this whole debacle with the Wheelers happened, and essentially they chewed him out. So this is the apology tour.
Oh, God.
Yeah. You didn't get any wisdom at all, dude. None. Zero. Right? Again, if you feel like that you need to be a part of some right-wing movement to make comic books, then you don't understand comic books. You really don't. Me and Sam and Nick, we're all separate entities. We're not part of a group. We don't have a bigger name attached to us. You know what I mean? We're just fucking friends who fucking hang out and make comic books. We don't wave a flag. We don't answer to Van Sciver or anyone else. We don't have to go through the comic book purity police to see if we're fucking worthy of their acknowledgement.
Mm-hmm. I just want to make books, man.
This is it.
That's literally always whenever someone asks me, like I've had people straight up tell me at conventions, like, oh, like you have to pick a side. I'm like, I just want to make comics.
I just want to dance.
I literally just was like, I just want to make books.
In the chat, we said, we got Caleb. He says, sell books, not drama. Some comic book fans are so burned out. Yeah, they are. They are. He also says Niobe is 100%. Card Shark says, all the good creators at CG all left because of the drama to do their own thing. And I might add more successful than CG. Examples being Eric July with the Ripperverse and Iconic Comics, that being Tim Lim and stuff with Common America. Because, yeah, for those that don't know, I don't know if Eric ever declared Comicsgate in the past. He might have. But Tim Lim was part of Comicsgate in the early days. And they actually got kicked out of Comicsgate because they wanted to do a fucking comic with Trump on the cover. And that turned into a whole big schmoz. And then a couple years later, Ethan does a cover with Trump on the cover. You know what I mean? Yeah. So take it from someone who's watched this from the start. I'm like a historian on all this shit. You know what I mean? Blight Blazer says, the other problem with Katie is that she put some clips behind a paywall and that's not allowed. Yeah. So, I mean, Nick, that's the basic caught up of the situation. I want to ask you about something else, though, since you're here.
Sure.
What did you think? I don't know how caught up you are with the Tyler Carpenter situation.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad. I think, sometimes, especially when it comes to health and family, there are moments where, like, you got to resort and do what you feel is necessary. So I'm not taking that away from him. I feel bad and my heart goes out to him and his situation. Like, and I hope he bounces back. I hope he, finds the proper solution. I think this is an overall. I don't want to say. I'm really trying not to sound in a way like dickish or anything, but like it's reasons like something of this caliber where this is why I always encourage creators whenever they do their numbers on Kickstarter. If you're working on the book in some caliber, so let's just say you're the writer, I always am a firm believer that you have to incorporate your time and services in your goal. So you always want to, and everyone's perspective is different on this because some people, the money isn't really, the priority for them. They just want to get their book printed, which I fully understand. But I always had that mentality where I still want to make money for this. If I'm dedicating, say, like 5 months on a project, it's beyond the book. It's like I deserve to get compensated of some degree or make some money back. So whenever I budget my Kickstarter numbers, I always keep, even if it's a lower rate, it's still you're getting money back for yourself where you could either keep it in your account for your books or you could cash it out and that's your money that you made off of this book. But it really opens that door of why to many people it's very important to incorporate a page rate or a price for your services in your crowdfunding goal because you want to, for the most part, I think some, like a good chunk of people just want to make some money off of this. And I think when a lot of people are like, oh, you can't make money off of this stuff, it's because they're not incorporating their services in like their funding goal. But again, it comes down to the perspective of what are your goals when it comes to making a book. If you're looking to make profit off of it and you don't include like your time and services in your funding goal, then that's personally just on you and that's your choice. But it really just depends. Like if the money doesn't matter and you just want to utilize the money to print your book, then that's also your choice and that's you're free to choose that route. But I think ultimately that's why you'll see some creators factor in their own services, and especially if they're not outsourcing a lot of their stuff. Like if they're like a one-man show, I think it'd be silly not to incorporate your services in that funding goal. So I think it's like a case-by-case scenario, but ultimately I understand what he's going through. I feel for him, and I think across the board, it just shows the importance of, when you launch a Kickstarter for your book, it's okay to factor in like some of your services to strive and make some money off of it, even if it's not if you're not making 50K or whatever, that's fine. But like as long as you make like something back, you know.
Yeah, no, I hear. Buddy wrote me back, like the EV Comics guy we were just talking about.
Yeah.
And he said, there's too many good creators that I would consider friends in CG for ever me to leave again. I owe them for supporting me. Number 2, Kickstarter is fine. Vonster did his last campaign on it and no one whined. They're going to, trust me. Number 3, I'm not going on stream. Well, then that's your failure, not mine. And he goes, number 4, which is the best fucking one. I can ship. No, you can't. You had 5 books and you managed to fuck that up. Don't sit here and tell me you can ship. You can't ship. You can't ship. Dude, I've been doing this for 12 years, and Sam's been doing this for a number of years. Nick Capone here is also an industry professional, worked with Dynamite, worked on some big books, okay? You need to be listening to us, man. We've had books in shops, okay? Both me, Nick has worked in shops. Sam's had work in shops. I've had work in shops, okay? Worked with fucking publishers. Done distribution. Been to the dance. Going back to the dance. You're learning from fucking amateurs, man. And you're not listening. Because you're so closed off to my Kickstarter. No, not even my Kickstarter. My Comicsgate fucking buddies who fucking grilled me out when you were right about them the first time. Maybe you're just scared if you come on here, you're going to get yelled at. I promise I won't yell at you. I want to have a discussion with you. I want to convert you back over to the light side. That I'm like the fucking holy rollers knocking on your door, wanting to bring you closer to God. And if that's not what you want to do, then you're right. Don't fucking come here. If you don't want to learn, don't come here. You don't want to learn how to do it right. You don't want to learn how to ship. You don't want to learn how to build a better campaign, how to fucking find a letterer. Don't come here. Correct. You want to do worse than you did before? Don't come here. I don't know if I can say it any more fucking plain and direct than that, Sam. And I know
Well,
you
you
feel
respond-
differently. You're going to be good cop while I'm bad cop. I understand how the role works.
Different personalities. And he didn't respond to me. If he wants to have a sit down, we can talk definitely about packaging, shipping, fulfillment, and a few other things too. I think. I've said for a long time I don't care about the Comic Gate stuff. I care about getting my books out and treating my people well. And what works for me might not work for someone else. It's just the way it is. Not everyone can work with Alexia Veldhausen and Damian Torres and Nick Capone and Dakota Erhan and Taylor Esposito. We have a decidedly different culture, and it's based not on what Marvel does for Disney or different conspiracy theories or who got slighted by what company. It's about taking the vision, executing, and putting books in people's hands and trying to leave a legacy on my side for my kids through the company and with the people I work with, of having a great experience and a professional experience and experience with someone who's going to be very open about your excellence and who's going to challenge you to do your best. And I know I can be a pain in the ass sometimes with the artists here, because I do ask them to always do work that they're going to be proud of 10 years from now. And Nick did something today. I think he's going to be proud of 10 years from now, because it looks fucking phenomenal, Nick.
Thank you.
Excellent work as always.
Thank you.
And I don't know. I've been a guest on anti-CG shows, and I've been a guest on CG shows, and I tell them all the same thing. I'm not here to argue for or against. I'm just here to show you guys what my team has done and put it in people's hands, and make sure that my people get paid.
Yeah. I mean, that just to add to that too, it's like one thing I just cannot fathom, and maybe because of just my experience in the industry, it's like that pick a side bullshit, no matter what side it is, it's really tiring. It's really exhausting. Frankly, it's actually very unprofessional. And what I feel like newer fans and newer generations call like parasocial or whatever it's called,
Yeah.
where it's like they want to like psychologically be invested in like creators or singers, artists. And it's just like, again, like it's almost like people today, they can't accept the answer that you just want to make comics. Like everything apparently has to have a motive. Everything has to be part of like a cult or like a Boy Scout or Girl Scout. Like it's really sad that comics and the industry have gotten to that point where you can't just love the medium for the sake of the medium. And if you like for example, and I'll never forget this, it was early when we were working on it was like maybe pushing issue 2 of Reign. I'll never forget someone on Twitter asked if we were Comicsgate because we quote unquote fit every archetype of what a Comicsgate book should look like. And I think you asked or someone asked, what does that entail? And because they were like heavily weighing in on whether or not they'll support the book or not by the upcoming answer. And they said it was because we had a sexy female character and the book was written by men and all this stuff, and it's just like, and I'm like, we don't affiliate with any group, and we don't really bring politics into our books. We just want to draw a really fun fantasy book, and if that is not the answer you're looking for, then we don't need your support on our book. Like, I just think it's so tiring. Like, and even too, like, grown ass fucking virgin fucking men online are like shit, like chitter chattering that, oh, like, pick a side, like, stop with the woke comics. Just like, shut the fuck up and read a book. Just read the books you like to read. Like, it's very tiring. Like, you know, it comes down to, I guess, why these things are made. It's because if you're tired of what's being put out, then make the books that you want to read. It's that
Sure,
simple.
but a lot of this is about wanting to advance, right? Like, let's say, Nick, right? I live in the United States. I'm Sam's next door neighbor, okay? And I'm a comic book writer, a comic book artist, but I'm a proud Trump supporter, right? What do you think are the odds that Marvel and DC are going to hire me?
Well, are you like open and outspoken about
Yeah, I'm
politics?
posting on social media. I'm wearing my red hat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not going to hire me. That's the fucking answer. And why? Because companies have what they call company mandates and company values. And a lot of people want to work for Marvel and DC, but if they want to play in the sandbox, if they want to play in someone else's sandbox, they have to play by someone else's rules.
I work with artists who are Trump supporters. I work with artists who are hardcore, extreme, left-leaning Democrat socialists, two anarchists, and a few libertarians. And I don't care. Because for my company culture, for Sinopa, you know, believe what you want. As long as you're putting in the work and doing excellent work and meeting your deadlines, that's what we care about. Speak your mind anywhere else, that's fine. I mean, we're not going to plaster it on the comic or anything.
Yeah.
But believe what you want, do what you want. But when it comes down to getting the work, getting the book done, get the book done. And the funny thing is that we don't have that problem. You know, I'm really very fortunate to work with some amazing professionals.
And I'm like that too with like Purity, where I literally established to my team right off the bat that, you know, have your opinions, be respectful towards each other, don't be a hateful person, don't be aggressive, and remember that we're here to make a product. I don't need to know your personal life. I don't need to know, you know, what you do outside of making, like, I hired said people to just make a product with me, and as long as everyone's on the same page with me, that's all that really matters. Like, I don't, like, even like my conversations with my team members are very just like solely work based. I don't really dive into like, what are your thoughts on this, or, oh, what are your thoughts about EVS? Like, I don't talk about anything like that. I'm just like, all right, what's the update? What's the status on the letters? What's the status on the edits on the scripts? Like, I really just want my product made so much that, like, I just don't give a shit, man. I'm gonna be very honest. I just don't give a shit. I just want to make my product. But some people, you know, I think it's just too, like, the sad reality is that that answer alone is not good enough to some people, and will be like, oh, I'm canceling you, or, oh, you're probably like a bigot, or you're probably the opposite of what I support. Like, just because I said that I just don't want to talk about my personal views and I just care about
well, that to them means you have something to hide that you don't want to admit.
And that is really sad and ignorant on their end. Like, people need to realize assumptions are not facts. That's the big thing I wish this new age of comic book fans and readers understand. Assumptions and what's the word? What's the word? It's basically another word for an assumption, but like assuming something about your creator or someone.
A presumption.
Yeah, without the proper evidence, without them blatantly being like, this is what I support. Like, you don't know, but it could be fucking dangerous. like for that creator. You never know, but just like what, like, I have to Google this word now because it's really gonna bother me.
Preconceived notion.
It's gonna basically it's, but you get my point. It's just having those kind of assumptions and speculate. That's the word. Speculate. So speculation is not fact, and I think that speculation is very dangerous in these times because again, they aren't fact, but people are playing it like they are fact. So it really just fucks with the viewer. It fucks with the reader. It fucks with the artist. It really just it's dangerous. So I just keep my line of business and my teams very well aware of that policy. There's a no politics rule in my books or any of my products. Like, I'm just like, just get the book done and we'll work on the next one. That's all I want.
Yeah, the problem doesn't come in when you're running your own business because you can call the shots there, right? The problem comes in because we live in such a social media PR world where, like, say, like a company like Marvel or DC is very concerned about their public image as a company. The last thing they want to do is hire someone that may ruin or jeopardize that, right? So for me, who wants to work for Marvel and write magic, if I'm like, going against the company mandate and, like, pretty much opposite of all their company values and attacking their creators, yeah, they're probably not going to hire me, man. And those are things that people who are wanting to be in the entertainment business, whether it's comic books or any other factor of it, really needs to keep in mind that we're in a public relations world where you shit sideways, spit wrong, someone's going to post about it on social media.
That's true. But I think for some people who are very like, and I'm not saying this to silence their opinions, but there is a level, and like we learned this at the Kubert School, there is a level of professionalism that some creators need to like adhere to online. So like, whether if it's having like a art account versus a personal account and have your personal account separate, or like, it's how you present yourself online. If you're like, a typical CG, like, extremist that like is very aggressive towards people, telling people to like fucking, self-harm or whatever, like if you're being vocal of that online and using words that are really not professional, like that's kind of on the person. Then it's not the fact of like you're stripping them away of their freedom of speech. It's just professionalism at that point, and then people will have their perception on you based on how professional you are online. So it's like that's just another thing for these extremists to consider. And like even to like, if you're like the owner of a company or if you're like the creator of your own book, you're representing your book, you're representing your brand. So it's like if you're gonna act like a hateful, immature person online who just like just bullies people and like as like your job, that's just that just says a lot of your brand too. So it's like it's very important on how one is represented online. Like you could have your personal accounts. We all have our personal accounts. But like when it comes to like your public account where you have a larger scale viewership, it's very important to represent your brand and your characters and your books. And I think that's what a lot of these CG guys could really take note on,
Any final words, Sam, before we wrap this up?
Guys, if you ever have any questions about how to fulfill your crowdfunding campaign, if you have questions about where to get stuff printed or anything about the process on the fulfillment side, creative questions, things of that nature, feel free to tag me on social media stuff. If it's something I know the answer to, I'll tell you. And if I don't, I can usually point you to people who do. I think that there's no reason not to share the information. Sure, in a sense, I guess we all compete with each other to some degree, but you don't really compete with someone if you're hamstringing them by withholding information that can lead to their success. So definitely take and feel free to just tag me on X is probably the easiest place to get me if you've got a question about that. Gemini mailers, folks. Your
Oh,
friend.
right. Let's talk about this just for 1 second. Don't use bubble mailers if you can. Get Gemini mailers. Sam, show them what a Gemini is, please.
So, guys, the Gemini mailer is a sheet of cardboard. Okay? But what you get is when you fold it up, you have a little bit of protection here. You're going to fold it in and protect your book. Now, personally, I take and secure the comics inside bubble wrap to help prevent against line creasing from the edges of the cardboard. This has proven to work really, really well.
Well, plus it gives a little extra cushion in case that box gets fucking trampled on.
Exactly. But these ship flat. You've got room to put stickers and small art prints and stuff in the back of your bag and board. Everything works out pretty well. If you want a little further protection, these will fit very nicely in some of the mailers that you can get either from Uline or Sticker Mule, including custom printed ones. We've got some really great ones that have Tibby only wearing bubbles running from a dinosaur. People love those. But this will help get your books to your backers safe or and in good shape. Help prevent a lot of the damage that we saw on that earlier video. So don't be afraid to ask questions. That's how we learn. We learn by finding answers or by learning from our failures. And finding answers is much cheaper than learning from your failures.
Amen. Nick, you got anything else you want to say? Anything you guys want to promote or talk about for a second before I end the stream?
Yeah. So next week, well, not next week, the September 4th, we are launching the first ever Purity crossover miniseries called Purity and Reptilia, Serpent of Eden #1, story and art by Reptilia creator Ethan Farina. It's going to be a really fun book. It's a very cartoony book in comparison to what we're used to with Purity. It's a new take. There's babes, there's dinosaurs, there's pilgrims, there's a time wizard. There's so many things happening in this book, and it's two worlds collide, and you got to pick a side, even though I just went on a tangent of not picking a side. This is a story where you kind of have to pick a side. So
Fiction versus reality.
Yeah, so it's a really fun book. I'm really excited to share this with the world. Like I said, September 4th, pre-launch page is up, and yeah, be there or be not there. But it's going to be a really fun book. I'm really excited to share it with everyone. It's 2 years in the making, and it's finally coming to life. So.
And I do have something else too, because I think Nick has forgotten. So we're going to share a world premiere on this. This is one of 2 art prints that Nick is coloring up for Reign of Ages. We're going to be printing these and having these out at Cincinnati Comic Expo along with the others, where we have Dedelia and Uta from Reign of Ages, where we're finally putting out that fire burning on the little lady's backside. So really great color work by Nick Capone, line art by Damian Dimitri Torres.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this next issue of Reign, and for those who are new watching, it is going to be my final issue of Reign of Ages, and so also stick around for that. It's going to be a really fun issue. Sam's finishing up the scripts.
I know I'm late. I'm sorry, Nick. I'm late this time, man. I'm sorry.
It's okay, but we're going to be working on this in the future. There's a lot of fun things happening. And yeah, definitely stick around for the next issue of Reign of Ages.
Featuring some fantastic cover work by Walter Giovanni.
Yeah. For those who don't know Walter was a steady Dynamite artist. I think he still does a lot of stuff with Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
He's most notably the penciler from the Gail Simone Red Sonja run.
Mm-hmm.
He's amazing. He's amazing to work with. I had him do a cover. Well, we hired him initially for issue 4 of Rain, and he produced such a beautiful cover, like a jaw-dropping cover. And so he's coming back, and I actually have the cover in my possession, and I'm gonna start coloring that soon. So fun stuff.
Fun times in the Maritimes, man. Blake Blazer says, late, boo, Sam, boo.
I know. I gotta finish that script. I've been working on stuff with basically work and taking care of Willow. School started, that kind of thing, and I just kind of fell a little bit behind. But we are getting also ready for Willow's cosplay pin and trading card campaign. The art print campaign, we'll get those run before, definitely before the Tibby issue 2 campaign starts. And then I have a meeting coming up with Alexia Veldhausen so we can start her editorial on that final revision of the script again, because we're making some changes from what we had when we last ran the campaign when it didn't succeed, and we're going to just try and keep the highest level of quality possible.
There you go, man. And for me, we'll be fulfilling Niobe. I got a message from Mixum as we were actually just doing the stream, and they keep fucking changing their mind. Man, at first it's like, okay, you're going to get your books on the 27th. No, now you're getting your books on the 28th. No, now it's either going to be the 30th or 31st. And now it's back to, no, you're getting your books on the 28th. Make up your fucking mind.
Yeah.
Make up your mind. I don't care when it is. Just, don't tell me one day and then I get a message the next day and it's something else. And you message me again today and tell me it's something else. So, backers, books will be on the way soon. When we get the books, big, huge unboxing stream on this channel. Hopefully it is the 28th, which means I should have books in 4 days, according to them. Friday, right? And on Friday, I work from 12 noon to 6:30. And if there are fucking books here Friday afternoon, while I'm working, I will be bagging and boarding those fuckers. And then come 6:30, I'll be going live to show them. We got Michael here, Brian. It's been a while. What's going on? He says, just caught the stream. We'll have to go back and watch it from the start. Yeah, it's a doozy, man. Go check it out, man. I am going to end the stream here now, though. So I want to thank everyone for coming out. Again, books are on the way. If you want Niobe back issue, Savage Sin, what else? Whatever else I got to offer, the eBay link is in the chat and in the description of the video. So go ahead and check out my eBay. Just know that everything you get on eBay goes directly back into the pot to help make more comics. With that being said, thank you for joining us. That's my 2 cents. Give me yours down in the comment section below. Put something on my plate to chew on. And hopefully we see you Friday for a big